Living every day in your head for free. You can tap away, but I will not hear you scream. You can break your keys, spread your toxicity, your world outside reality. In your room, a little hideaway, but you let it through. Enough to go insane. Living in the dark hasn't treated you well. You're building your own prison cell. Hate, rage, don't waste it on me. Spite, lies telling you, don't waste it on me. Did I brush you off? Is it your lack of friends? We never met, even if you pretend. Am I in your debt? I don't know you nothing. Don't say something you'll regret. Hate, rage, don't waste it on me. Spite, lies telling you, don't waste it on me. Hate, rage, don't waste it on me. Spite, lies telling you, don't waste it on me. Rage, don't waste it on me. Spite, lies telling you, don't waste it. I'm telling you, don't waste it. Lies telling you, don't waste it on me.
Check. Can the chat
Hello.
let us know if it works?
There we go. We are back. We are back. Sound is here. Sorry, guys. We'll start again. Hello, welcome to the Midweek Mixer podcast.
And again, happy birthday, brother!
Thank you. Oh, dear me.
Happy birthday, Dutch.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, that was because OBS decided to update yesterday, and I haven't had a chance to test the
yeah.
audio. So,
It always happens after each update, and that reminds me I have to set the OBS settings as well.
Yep.
Otherwise, we have the same problem tomorrow.
Oh dear me. Yeah, so of course we're joined by these awesome gentlemen. The gentleman will see in Boxenberger immediately. Mick is stuck in traffic and on his way home, so he'll be here momentarily. I think he said probably an hour late. And Pat will be joining us a little bit later as well. But Until then, we've got these awesome gentlemen here, and thank you to everybody in
Oh,
chat
I
for the
do-
birthday wishes. Yes.
I do hope that Mick has got aircon in his van.
Oh,
I
God,
really do, because I'm not feeling that right now. It's so fucking hot.
Yeah.
I can't stand it. It's humid.
No.
I feel like I'm sticking to everything. Like good. There's like a glue.
This
all-
afternoon we had like 85% humidity here and 31 degrees Celsius. I'm melting away. It's disgusting here in Germany.
We've got like a pollen count of like 95% or something ridiculous, so I've just got really itchy eyes. Like, hair fever's going absolutely nuts.
That reminds me, I do need to take another Piriton. So I'm going to quickly do that in a second.
That's all right. I'll tell you what, if you're going to nip for that, I'll get started with the introduction. We'll go with Boxy. Boxy,
Yes.
hello, sir. You've got, again, you've treated yourself. You've treated yourself to a new bit of hardware, haven't you? And it's currently there. So
I did, and I have it right here.
yes,
And since I was stuck in work meetings up until an hour ago, I had not properly the chance to check it out. I just started it up, and I'm installing. I have to remove the birthday hat. It does not work with my headset, by the way. I don't know, like this.
There we go.
This is better. There we go. So yeah, I haven't had the chance to check it out properly. I'm still installing like tons of updates, but so far the impression is it's super fast Windows device. I haven't played a game yet. I haven't even started downloading games, honestly, because you have to do like tons of updates for BIOS, Armory Crate, Windows updates. You know the drill.
Yeah.
So doing that in parallel here to the show. So let's see how good I am in multitasking today.
yeah. And what have you had a chance to play this week aside from being at work?
Diablo has consumed me.
Yeah.
I've played nothing else but Diablo, and I even double dipped. I bought it. I started, of course, on Xbox on the console, and I bought it on PC as well, so that I can not only play on PC but also on of course, the Rock Ally. And dude, Diablo is so good. I think I'm finishing the campaign soon, in the middle of Act 5 right now. I'm almost level 50. Like, I know, like probably the next skeleton I kill and I'll hit level 50 already. I did a lot of side quests. I upgraded my character, but I can't wait to dive into the end game. Season 1 is about to start, and man, this game is just so good. I know you've been playing yourself, Dutch, but yeah, Diablo 4 is. I'm a big fan of the series. I played hundreds, if not thousands, of hours on Diablo 2. I even played the original Diablo. And of course, 3 is my second most played Xbox game ever. It's I love the franchise, and Diablo 4 is absolutely fantastic. Blizzard nailed it. They took the classic formula, that makes Diablo good and great. This mix of your grind and loot loop. Whatever you do, you always feel like you get at least a little something out of it. Focusing very heavily on builds and rewarding you for diving deep into possible combination of skills and your stuff, like your armor, weapons, and whatnot. And but then with the shared open world, I love that. If you have like these bigger open world events, not just the random ones that pop up on the map, but the bigger ones, the ones that get a countdown on the map, and everyone unites. And yesterday I just jumped in for 30 minutes in a party with some randoms. They invited me while we were fighting not a world boss, but I don't know what those events are called.
Legion
the
events.
Ones. Yeah,
The orange
exactly.
ones. Yeah, they're cool.
They're cool. It was a really good one, and then it's just a fantastic game, man. And I like what they've done with how you can upgrade your items to legendaries, get the different what are they called in English? The things you get as a reward for when you do a dungeon.
Loot.
I mean, not loot. Those little skills that you can then apply to your weapons or your armor, and it just comes together so
aspects.
Aspects, exactly. Having a mount on the open world map is fantastic. I love the game so much. It is honestly fantastic. So, yeah, I've been playing that tons of it. Tons of it.
Yeah, I'm in end game now, so I've also started because I've got to end game with Sorcerer. I've also started a new game as Barbarian to get that one up to end game. So I've started a Barbarian build whilst I still play end game as Sorcerer. I'm level 50 now on Sorcerer. Whoop, whoop.
Nice.
So yeah, I've got that achievement down. Got the campaign achievement down. So now it's trying to just level things up. I got an awesome mount for the horse, a mount kind of decal or whatever you want to call it. So he now looks like a skeleton ghost kind of horse, which is quite cool. And I got that for doing one of the Legion events. It dropped on the floor and I picked that up. So that's cool.
I had no idea that you can get those skins for your mount as a reward.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man.
There's been some awesome ones. They're all in the end game stuff. So when you finish the game and you start doing different Legion events and things like that, then you start getting kind of mounts and stuff for your horse, which is awesome. And I've seen some really funky ones, like really high level ones as well, from like the hard dungeons. I've forgotten what they're called. The ones that people are complaining about. Nightmare dungeons.
Nightmare. Okay. They have nightmare dungeons. I'm not in the end game yet, but I feel I need to rush to it because everyone's talking about it. Nightmare dungeons have been in Diablo 3 as well.
Yeah.
You had to do like other dungeons first, and you got to collect like certain gems or keys that worked. If you had like 5 keys, you got one for Nightmare Dungeon, and then you could set like the world tier just for that particular dungeon. So I set it then to like world tier at the end. I don't know, 49 or 50 or so. That were the Nightmare Dungeons I was able to beat solo, and in co-op we could raise that up to like 80 or 90, and it was like awesome. Diablo 3, I had a fantastic build there. But I cannot wait to dive into proper builds because during the campaign, focusing on builds is really not that. Doesn't make that much sense. You rather have to focus on your skills and finding out which ones work properly in combination. So far, I've been using it as a sorcerer, like a mix of lighting, fire, and ice. And I feel like I need to dive more into a proper ice build. But yeah, it's fantastic, man.
I'm looking forward to seeing what you think of the last section of the last chapter. Like the final cutscene followed with the kind of battle and final end cutscene as well. I'm looking forward to seeing what you think of that, like what the end of the story is there.
Cannot wait. I have to do that probably. See, that's the thing. Today I'm on the podcast. Tomorrow I'm on the podcast, so I probably won't be able to play properly before Friday. Also, of course, fiddling around with the ally takes up time. So, but yeah, it's good stuff, man.
It is.
Diablo is so much fun. Cannot wait for season 1 to start.
Yep, not long.
Yeah.
Next up, Jen. How are you doing, sir? What have you been up to?
Hello. Not much in regards to gaming. I just had like an hour and a half on DayZ a little bit before the podcast. Most of the time I've had free, I've been spending reading the Game of Thrones book. I'm more than halfway through. Absolutely loving it. It's so much better than the TV show. There's so many storylines in the book that are either brushed over really quick in the TV show, or just don't exist in a TV show. And it's just a way better fleshed out story than the TV show. I'm also watching the TV show alongside it, so I can see the differences in the show, and it is quite drastically different.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm enjoying the book a lot. Enjoying reading. I picked up All Quiet on the Western Front, the book.
Yeah.
Gonna read that pretty soon after I finish that book. So yeah, I'm taking a dabble into reading instead of gaming at the moment because it's so hot. I can't be asked to sit in this room and game for multiple hours, or the other room and game for multiple hours. It's just too hot. So most of the time, like I've got free, I'm in the garden reading.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Like, I don't mind gaming by myself when I don't have to wear a headset. But when my mate's been, and obviously I've got leather cups on the Xbox headset, so the one thing you don't want to wear when it's boiling hot is leather cup headset. Like,
You get sweaty ears. You take them off, and you got sweaty, greasy ears, and you're like, "That's gross."
yep. Yep. So
If only they came with like built-in air conditioning headphones.
yep.
There you go, Microsoft. There's an idea for you.
Air conditioned headphones. Yeah, just a tiny little fan on the inside that just blows nice, cool.
That would be
cool air.
awesome, man.
Lovely. But yeah, I mean, I've literally just been, when I have had a chance, playing Diablo. Finished the campaign, got to end game, started a new build as a barbarian. That's pretty much it, to be honest. And work, unfortunately, and being an adult as we are, working on your birthday, which is really fun.
Yeah, it sucks, man. It sucks.
Yeah.
That you just have to invent something really important for mankind so that your birthday is getting a national holiday.
I know.
Yeah, that's
Make those
simple as that.
headphones.
Yeah, aircon headphones. Let's go. Oh dear me. But yeah, it should be a nice, easy, and fun podcast today. Of course, we're talking a number of things. We'll be talking about our thoughts on the announcements from the Nintendo showcase today. So they did a little Nintendo Direct, which had a couple of cool announcements there. So we'll be covering that. We saw a first look at the new Pokemon expansion, which is coming out the tail end of the year. We saw a brand new Luigi's Mansion, which is going to be awesome. We saw a new Mario as well. I think it's Wonderer or Wonderland or something like that. Then we also saw Pikmin 4. We saw a brand new remake of Mario RPG. We saw a new Monster Hunter. And we got a couple of other games as well. StarCraft, was it StarCraft? I think it was. Or Star Ocean, sorry. Star Ocean game specifically for the Switch as well, which looks really cool. We also got the announcement of the release date of Metal Gear Collection on all platforms, so that's October.
Wait for that. Can't wait for that.
Yeah, many other things. So it was a good little stream, to be honest. It was a good little stream. I was kind of keeping an eye on it in the background at work. Obviously couldn't have any sound on or anything, but keeping on skipping through to see if I'd missed anything all the way through. But yeah, it was a good little stream for them. It was a stream full of first party, a couple of third parties here and there, but mainly first party stuff, which is really cool. There was updates for Mario Kart in there for the new tracks that are coming, updates to Splatoon for a new map or something that's coming there. There was a Wario dance game as well for the Switch that's coming out. Yeah, I know. So yeah, lots of cool little games there. And I think Jen, you've got a Switch now. I know you do because you bought it for Pokemon.
Yep, I'm waiting for the new Pokemon. I'm looking forward to the DLC for that. It's the only thing I've seen from a Nintendo Direct because I haven't had a chance to watch that myself yet. I will likely watch that later.
Yeah.
There's probably not really a whole bunch there that I'm interested in. I've always been a Pokemon fan. It's really the only reason why I get Nintendo consoles because I grew up with Pokemon.
You might like Mario RPG as well then.
didn't even know there was a Mario RPG, but you said it's a
Yeah.
remake, right?
It's a remake.
Remake.
Of
It
the RPG,
was
yeah.
on the Super Nintendo
Yeah.
all the way back in the days, and it's quite interesting what they're doing with the remake. It's got this full 3D look. All characters are full polygons now, and it is interesting. I haven't played Mario RPG in 30 years or so, but I remember it very fondly. Honestly, it was I remember enjoying that game, so I will definitely look into that, man.
Yeah, definitely. Mario RPG's definitely got my interest. I might have to dip in and eventually get Luigi's Mansion 1 and 2, because obviously they've just announced Luigi's Mansion 2. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that's about. I'm not going to get WarioWare Dance, whatever it is. No, not for me.
Yeah, nah.
Nope. Definitely get the Pokemon expansion. I really enjoyed the main quest or the main story for that game and playing through that. So I'll definitely be getting that expansion.
That was announced for Nintendo Switch, the Batman Arkham trilogy.
It was,
saw
yeah.
it
I
on
forgot about
Twitter
that.
earlier.
Yeah, at all 10 frames a second. Yeah, the Arkham trilogy coming out for the Nintendo Switch, Boxy. You gonna cop that on the Switch?
It's probably one of my. It's definitely one of my most beloved gaming IPs or trilogy ever.
Oh, that was a great
I love the
trilogy. I loved
Arkham.
it.
I love it so much. It's like right up there for me with Elder Scrolls and Mass Effect. But I don't know, man. I don't know. If I need a handheld version, there's another solution for it now where I can play it at 60. And it's called
Is it the Rogello?
Yeah. Just saying. There are other options now in this household here. So, yeah, no, I'm not getting the Arkham trilogy on the Switch. I have it on PC. I have it on Xbox, and that's
I have it on
enough.
PC as well, so
Yeah.
it's probably not something I'm all that interested in. I mean, if Nintendo had an achievement system, I'd probably pick it up, get the achievements for it, but they don't. So I'm not all that interested.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool for those Switch-only owners that they get to experience one of the
100%,
best trilogies
100%.
ever made. So that's definitely cool.
Not just that, one of the best comic book games that exists.
Yeah.
So at least they'll get to it eventually. And this is the thing about Nintendo. They literally don't care when they get the game, as long as they get the game at some point, or they can get it running on the console. So it's good that Nintendo fans are eventually getting to play these games. No doubt they probably would have on maybe secondary consoles years ago when they came out. But of course, Nintendo fans will be wanting to play it on their own system, and now they can. I, much like Jen, would love it if they had some form of achievement system. I don't care what it is. It could be mushrooms. It could be coins. It could be something along like a Nintendo line that kind of gets you interested in that. But something at least to mark a completion of a game. Because at the minute, you just see the amount of hours you've played it. And you're just like, okay.
Who cares? Man, I
I'm
so
really looking
don't
forward to
care
that Pokemon
about
DLC.
achievements, trophies, whatever. I really don't care.
I know you don't. I know. I'd love it though.
So
I'd love it.
yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool.
See, I'm somewhere in the middle with achievements and trophies. I only really 100% a game if I absolutely love it.
Yep, exactly.
And I go for like 100% achievements. I've done it with very few games.
Mm-hmm.
God of War Ragnarok was one of them. Spider-Man was one of them. I think I did the first Batman game, Arkham Asylum. 100% that.
Hogwarts was one of mine.
Apart
I wanted
from, like,
to
the time
do
trial
that.
things.
Yep.
It's a pain.
Yeah.
Yourself through Hogwarts Legacy to get all the
Oh god, yeah.
achievements.
Yeah. I just
See, I don't-
wanted that. I loved it. I loved it that much that I wanted to play through it. Granted,
It's
going to the going to the chamber like twice, 3 times, okay. Doing it like 4 or 5 times, like at that point you're like, make it stop. I've done the same missions forever. I've heard the same dialogue for like 10 hours now. But I was glad to get that out of the way. I knew that I left those to last because I knew they were going to be the most boring ones out there. So I was like, yeah, I'm just going to leave that to last. I'm just going to polish them off. But I did everything else before that. Thoroughly enjoyed the world. Explored everything it had to offer. I'm kind of...
I mean, it is a fantastic world.
Yeah.
And it is a fantastic game. And whenever I love a game, I can play hundreds of hours in it. And I would not even once take a look at the achievements because I don't need this achievement or trophy system to tell me what to do in a game to enjoy it. Yeah. I just don't. You know, I don't care for, oh, shoot this guy 3 times in the head while dancing on 1 foot and singing Kumbaya. It's... I also do not enjoy just running around searching for some artificial collectibles in a game or whatever. I do love playing side quests. I do love, you know, getting certain loot or whatever the game is. Yeah, it depends, of course. But I don't need the achievement system to tell me how to play the game. Yeah. I just play it, you know, the way I want. And
I like
so that's how I...
Yeah, the one thing about the achievements...
And I want to
is
shout
I like...
out UK Desirous in the chat, who says, I would only care about pineapple on pizza. And it's fake news, guys. It's fake news. Absolutely fake news. I do care about my new ally, though, if I have not mentioned it.
Yes, yes. I bet you're just itching for it to be ready so you can play.
Yeah, see, I'm installing now Diablo on it.
At least you got that far.
Of course, here, and I think I have done now all the updates. I had to do a BIOS update at the moment, but
you'll get there. You'll get there. No,
the screen looks fantastic, by the way. It's like super sharp, popping colors, very responsive. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm not jealous
at all.
I'm
looking forward to hearing what you got to say about it. I guess you'll be talking about that on your show tomorrow once you've had a little time with it. So I'll be really interested in what you got to say about that. Maybe you can convince me to get one.
I'll be picking one up after I get a PlayStation 5. I'm getting the PS5 after Gamescom, so that's that's the month after I get back from Gamescom. It's PS5 time, and then I can think about ROG Ally potentially tail end of the year. You never know. We'll see. We shall see.
Nice.
Yeah, achievements wise, I only ever look at the achievements when I absolutely love a game and I want some extra challenges to do. So I'll look through the achievements and it's like, okay, you've got to complete a nightmare. Like for Diablo, for instance, complete 5 nightmare dungeons. Like, sweet, okay, let's go through. But I know whilst completing 5 nightmare dungeons, I'm going to get some sweet loot in the process. So, like, it's a win-win situation. So it's only for games where I know there's some kind of, like, I love it. If a game I just think, it's okay. I'm not going to go out and do the achievements. I'm not even going to be bothered. There's certain games, though, that I have played, and you're playing all the way through, and then the only achievement they give you for, like, the actual campaign is when you finish the campaign, and then everything else is, like, post-game. I'm like, I hate this. Like, it's like...
See, when I get pissed off with achievements and wish they never existed is when there's those games that are, like, 7 gamer score.
What was one the other day? What was the one that...
4 gamer score. It was Redfall. Redfall had that.
Yeah, it was a prick, yeah.
Like a one with 17 gamer scores. Like, okay, why?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, free yourself of this artificial pressure of a gamer score and just don't give a fuck, and then you don't care about odd numbers or...
it bugs me though, because when I see my number at the top of my gamer card and my OCD kicks in, and I'm like, you fucking bastards.
Yeah.
Look at that number. It don't look right.
I've seen people after Redfall on Twitter, and I had to laugh so hard because they were like, now the game is not only shit in itself, but it is like also messing up my gamer score. And then they Googled certain games that give you like an achievement with 3 gamer scores, just that the number is
Didn't Mixer did that? I'm pretty sure Mick said he had to do that. He had to find a game just to balance out his gamer score. I fucking hate it, man. Oh, it annoys me. I still got it like it. I'm not going to go to the length of finding a game that I don't even want to play just to get one achievement, just to balance it out.
Yeah, I'm not either. I'm sitting on the end here with like a 7 on the end of it there, which shows you that like that one's like kept it out there. So, yeah, I'm not going to search out that number. If it happens to flatten itself out over time, great. But I'm not going to go out my way to find a 3. Nope. Nope. I'm all right. I'll give it a miss. But yeah.
See, I don't even know what my gamer score is. I have no idea.
I couldn't tell you. I know mine's 119,000, but
Now I have to look
It's
it up.
opening the Xbox app.
mine only see because only it wasn't even last year. I think it was the year before last. I went through a little mission. I was only sitting on 50,000. I was like, I've had Xbox Live for the best part of like 13 years at that point. And I was like, and I'm only on 50,000 gamer score. I was like, right, I'm gonna make it my mission to get to 100,000, and I'll be sound. I'll be happy. Anything over that's fine. So I got to 100,000, and it's quickly creeped up to like 120 now. But I don't go out my way for it.
See, I have 85,300.
There you go.
Whatever.
Plenty of G's. Plenty of G's. No, you just get that through playing games. I'm surprised yours is so high though, because that's just The Witcher 45 times.
I don't know. I don't think I have that many gamer score in The Witcher. Hang on.
I'm really
Since
surprised.
I'm
And I'm not sure how you couldn't have. Because you've done everything there is to do in The Witcher.
Yeah, except, The Witcher Wild Hunt. I probably, where do I see how much gamers go? I have 1,050 out of 2,000.
It's not good enough, Boxy. You
Not
haven't
good enough.
finished
What did I not do? I didn't finish the game on Nightmare, that's true. Yeah, I didn't kill 3 people. I didn't throw certain people off a cliff. I don't know. Like, that's exactly. Yeah, you have to use bombs and kill three people with one bomb 3 times. See, that's the shit I don't like about why would I do that in a game? I don't
Usually
even
just
use bombs.
accidentally. If you use bombs, you would probably unlock that, but you don't use bombs. So
There you go.
just a byproduct. Just a byproduct. So your achievements are just a byproduct of playing. Before we get into the future of Xbox, Baz in the chat, yes, I'm still playing Street Fighter. I do need to get back to it. I haven't really had a chance to play games recently. I want to have a quick shout out as well to Revenator, who's a 1 month midweek mix-up recruit member as well. So thanks for that, Revenator.
Shout out.
Yes, indeed. Thanks to all of our members, of course, every month. Thank you for your ongoing support. Much appreciated. And Baz, yes, I'm still playing Street Fighter. I just haven't had a chance to really play games properly this week. So, yeah, I'll still be on it, still be playing. I love the game. So I'm down to be playing more Street Fighter across the weekend, hopefully. And some more Diablo as well. Both of those. They both got my attention till Starfield comes out, that's for sure. And then I lose my life in Starfield. So losing my life in Diablo, then straight to losing my life in Starfield.
It's probably the plan for the rest of the year, right?
Yeah.
I'll be playing Diablo like crazy for the next 2 months till Starfield comes out, and then I shall not be seen anywhere else outside of the universe of Starfield.
Yeah. That, and then
Can't wait for Starfield, man.
slightly dipping into Forza a little bit, and then back to Starfield.
See, that's exactly what. Remember what I've been saying about Forza?
Yeah.
And people hate it when I said it. The thing about Forza is these sim races are not for many people.
Nope.
They just are not. Forza Horizon, obviously, arcade racer. It caters to the casuals. It caters to, like, even the hardcore gamers that don't like sim racers like me. Yeah, so I'll be, of course, booting up Forza. It's free with Game Pass. Yeah, even though Phil said Game Pass isn't free, and he's right on it. But that's the thing. Everyone's going to boot it up, play 3 races to see how it looks, and then move on. And they will report record-breaking numbers, like 10 million players in the first 3 days.
Yeah.
Of course, everyone who has Game Pass will download it and start it. But the question really is who's actually gonna play it. So
The same with all races for me, though. It's exactly the same. Like, I love playing them in small chunks. I can't play even Forza Horizon as much as I love that. Like, I know Patcher, he can play Forza Horizon until the cows come home, but with me, I can do like maybe a couple of championship events or like maybe 5 to 10 races, and then I'm like, right, I've had my fill of the racing for today. I need to turn this off and play something else, and then I'll jump on some form of narrative game to have a little bit more fun. Don't get us wrong, I love races, but they are small chunk games to me. I take them in little doses.
That's the thing.
A couple of races and then turn it off.
I can play Horizon for hours. That's cool, but with these sim races, maybe it's just because I'm not good at them. But I know I don't know anyone outside of Forza Urban, of course, who plays them like
I know Patcher's
continuously.
he's just got off his colleague. He's just got a new Logitech steering wheel for the Xbox. So
nice.
I was like, just in time for Forza. So I know he will. He'll be playing that to death.
Sweet.
Whilst we're all on Starfield.
He's gonna enjoy it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm personally not really into racing games.
I'm looking
I
forward
dip
to
my toes in every now and then.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the career mode. I think everyone I think here will try the career and see what the career's about and how that works. Because of course they've got a leveling up system and everything on it now, so that's going to be interesting to see. But I think like everybody, take it in chunks. I know Daz in chat, Dazarus loves these racing games, but he plays every racing game that's ever released ever. He's a proper racing game fanatic. We're talking old Sega kind of Mega Drive, Sega Saturn, Sega Dreamcast, Xbox, PlayStation, you name it. Daz plays every racing game I think I've ever heard of or not heard of. I think he's already got it. So unlike us.
Yeah, I just don't really go much. I'm not really a car person, to be honest, so I don't really know all the car names, models, and whatnot. So just a car to me.
Yeah.
Well, I am, but again, that doesn't mean that I do play those games like religiously. So.
Yep.
I'm going to try it out for sure. I mean, I've got Game Pass. It's included in Game Pass. I'll install it. I'll have a little go of it, but I don't see me playing it long term. Just not into those types of games, especially more like the sim side of the racing games. I can really care less for that.
Speaking of racing games,
I
actually,
don't mind the arcade style ones.
yeah, I was going to say, speaking of arcadey racing games, Game Pass this month, of course, we've got a couple of cool editions. One awesome indie game called Bramble the Mountain King, which Jordan has recommended profusely. Apparently that's really good, so I'll be giving that a try when it drops into Game Pass. And Need for Speed Unbound, the game that we all said we'll wait. We shall wait for it to drop into the vault and try it that way.
Yeah, I think I'll wait even longer because I don't care.
And it's, again, that's a super arcadey game. Super arcadey with mad stylings. And I'm going to try it, definitely. It's, like I say, I seen it on sale the other day for 20 and I was like, should I? That's pretty cheap. And then I remembered it was in the EA game and I was like, nope. And then like 2 days later, Game Pass. I was like, woohoo! Right, yeah. Forgot about that. So I don't have to buy it. But again, Need for Speed's been a really missed title for me since... Most Wanted released on the 360. That was the best game they've done forever. And unfortunately, in terms of the Need for Speeds, they've never really peaked since then. So I'll give it a shot. Might like it, might not. But we'll see. It's in Game Pass after all.
You actually share a birthday with a famous actor, Dutch.
I know who.
Chris Pratt.
Do I?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
just literally saw James Gunn tweet "Happy birthday, buddy" to Chris Pratt.
Oh, happy birthday, summer
Wow.
solstice, a famous person. Aha, see? Superheroes all have birthdays today.
They do.
But some not great news today, but expected news on Xbox's front before we get into the good news for Xbox. Is of course the much anticipated price hikes are coming into effect next month. So the Xbox console increases by just over £20 to $479.99, and the subscription goes up from $9.99 to $10.99 if you're on the regular, or $10.99 to $12.99 if you're on the Ultimate. And that starts next month. Of course, all of you that have already pre-purchased your Ultimates for the next 3+ years, you're safe. Everybody else, it's going up next month. It's an expected increase. It's not great. Load roughness, yes. Need for Speed Unbound is coming into Game Pass this month. I can't tell you which date, but it is going in there. Yes. But yes, so for me, again, it doesn't affect me on the console pricing side of things because we've all got consoles already. So we're looking at the cost of Ultimate, and it's expected. The one thing we have to hold accountable with every one of these companies is, though price increases are expected due to the cost of inflation worldwide, and they're expecting it to dip, specifically in the UK as well this week, they expected inflation to fall, and it stayed exactly the same at 8.7%. So where that was an expected dip, of course, later on today, you're seeing a lot of companies further increase prices or increase rents or increase costs of things because the inflation hasn't dropped. So it's took a negative effect on the market. On Xbox's front, again, the Ultimate costing thing, £2 a month doesn't affect me really, £2 in the grand scheme of things. But for those who are thinking about getting into or getting an Xbox, or thinking about getting an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, it's another bigger decision to make now because it's an increased costing every month. So we've already had it for PlayStation Plus, who completely restructured their service to kind of get around that. It's not an increase if you just change how it's built in the first place. So the cost of Ultimate falls in between PlayStation's extra and premium pricing. I think premium's 13 something, maybe it's a little bit more, and the extra is something like 11 or just shy of £11. So it kind of fits in between those two. So it's kind of in the middle bracket there between the subscriptions on both platforms now. And console costs are there or there about the same for the PlayStation 5 and the Series X again now. I think had the world not been in the position that it is, by this point, we would have expected console decreases, not increases. We should have seen sales and things like that. Now, I did not read in the article whether or not the Series S price was going to go up. I only seen the price of a Series X. Now, if it's only the Series X that's going up...
It's the Series S is not affected,
Yeah.
by the price increase. Just Series X.
So there's another incentive if someone wants a second console to get a Series S. It has not increased. Still stays the same price. Unless, of course, you want the 1 terabit edition, which is $300. Because, of course, that's a 1 terabit console, not 512. So it's a little bit of an increased cost on that front. But it's we can't defend it. Of course, these companies should be able to shoulder the extra costs. However, flip side, devil's advocate, business is business. Every business is the world. I work with businesses up, like literally of every size, whether it be small or corporate. They all have to pass those costs. They don't have to, but to ensure that they profit margins are in the same region, the same ballpark for shareholders and investors and things like that. They need to continue to make the same level of revenue to kind of appease those. So doesn't benefit us in any way, shape, or form. But for them, of course, business is business. Unfortunately, they do put prices up, and we are the ones that shoulder that burden, as opposed to the companies themselves. We can't justify it as consumers. Of course we can't, because it's an extra £2, and for us, an extra £2 is the difference between buying some milk to have in the house, or buying some food or some bread or something like that to live on, and getting a subscription. So for those worse off, it's an increase that they don't really want to take right now, and for those who can burden it, it's just an unnecessary increase that they didn't need to have, but they can afford to shoulder that burden. No increases are nice, never good. The one I disagreed with more was the increase on the PlayStation 5 console, specifically in Europe and the UK, which went up to by £50, which was a substantial increase just in our territory. Of course, we know that didn't increase in the US, which was why that got the backlash. The console itself, that's not. It's like 20-something pound. It's not It is a big increase, but it's not the worst. But it's not great if you're looking to get a Series X and you haven't already got one. Again, thankfully, Jen's got 2. I've got 1.
Oh, what do you have? 2 Series X's?
He's one for his
I
dad,
have
and
one
he's got the
from
Halo one.
my streaming. I've got a Series X in here, which I use for streaming, and then in my bedroom, I've got my Series X, which is the Halo limited edition one, and my dad's got a Series S.
Nice.
So we're covered for consoles here. So the console price increase doesn't affect us. It's not great for people who are thinking about getting one. Now it's an extra cost. Of course, that's as of next month. So if you want to get a console and you can get it by the end of this month, or the end of payday this month, do it before the price increases take effect next month. If you can afford to. Of course, if you can't, the one benefit Microsoft has over Sony is that they do have payment plans available at 0%. So if you have got credit options, you're able to get these consoles using their financing at 0%, so there's no added increase. That includes your Game Pass Ultimate and the console, and that should be able to keep the cost down to an easier, more manageable level. And at least it's an option for people who are buying Xbox to be able to do that, as opposed to spend everything up front. Of course, naturally, if you have the credit facility to do that, or if you've got good enough credit to do that. If you don't, it's a nasty little increase to take on board, but unfortunately, it is what it is in today's climate. Like with everything else going up, it's hard to not expect it at this point. Several months back, when PlayStation did it, they were getting ahead of the curve because it wasn't anywhere near as bad as it is now. Back then, it was kind of just getting there, and they were just like, yeah, we're just going to do it now and just get it out of the way of. And Xbox held out and held out and held out and held out.
Yeah, but I mean, like, this isn't an excuse.
Yeah.
They did warn us that this was going to happen.
Yeah, so
they warned
eventually it
us
would.
months ago that there's likely going to be a price increase for the console and for Game Pass. Game Pass is expected. All subscription services, they up their price points. Netflix started out cheap when it had a small library, and then their library expands, and then they have to justify server space for the amount of films, TV shows that are stored on their cloud servers. And that library only expands more and more. That's going to happen with Xbox. They're going to have a price increase now, and they're going to have a price increase probably next year. Once all those bigger games start rolling into Game Pass, and it's a consistent.
And that's another thing, Jen.
When those games
you make
are rolling
a good
in.
point. You make a good point, though. Xbox do, because as it stands right now, that increase for the games that are in there right now isn't justified. However, it could be justified if they consistently release big titles like they said they were going to do. But that has to happen.
We're going to see them get to a point of consistency. It's obviously
Sure,
not.
we will. Sure, we will.
It's obviously debatable in certain moments, but at least they're going to be more consistent by the looks of things. Next year they've got some big games coming, and then
Hey,
hopefully
they got 2 and they will delay 1. So if that's consistency.
hopefully not. But yeah, the point is, the more consistent they can be, the more they're going to up that price of Game Pass to a degree. It's not going to go crazy high, but once they get it to like a stable, justified point where it balances out the revenue and all that other shenanigans. I mean, they've got third-party games that go in there on a weekly and monthly basis, so they are bound to do this. It's going to happen again at some point, whether it be next year or the year after. They're going to price hike it again, whether it be by another $1 or $2.
Yeah.
It's obvious with subscription services. Netflix have done it. Amazon have done it. Disney Plus have done it. They upped theirs last year from, I think it was $5.99 to now $7.99 a month. It's just obvious with subscription services. But the console, on the other hand, that's annoying. It bloody sucks. I pissed and whined about it when the PlayStation did it. I still ended up fucking buying a PlayStation. That's because I'm a fucking idiot.
We are all hypocrites when it comes to this stuff. We always complain about Nintendo and buy their stuff.
Yeah.
We complain about Xbox, subscribe and buy their stuff.
Yeah. As soon as God of War was announced, that was it. I needed a PlayStation, and I forked out the extra money. I didn't agree with it, but I still caved in and bought it.
That's the thing about us enthusiasts, you know. We always gonna buy that, and if they raise the console price to 600, 700, doesn't matter. We're still gonna buy it. The way how I try to look at this.
That's the problem with anything consumer wise. It always trickles down to the consumers to pay the price.
Yeah.
It's always been that way. It'll always be that way in business.
I totally understand that. The way I try to look at things is, though, at the end, we are customers and consumers. And with almost everything that happens in the gaming space, I try to look first and foremost to how does this impact us as gamers?
Yeah.
How does that impact us as consumers and customers? And price increase is, of course, obviously not good for us consumers.
Yeah.
Just not. It's good for them. They can keep up the profit margins and they can report in the next quarterly earning report another record-breaking revenue quarter earnings report. But at the very end, we all have to work also very hard for our money, and now we have to pay more for the same thing. So,
Yep, that's the problem. Everything goes up, but
So
very
there's-
rarely do the wages go up.
yeah. I mean, the pricing, you know, if they would have added Ubisoft Plus to it and they increased the price, okay, you could argue that you get more value or something, yeah. But in this case, we don't. So that's of course the very first reaction to this. Then of course this is a little bit more complex because you have to look into the whole world economy and inflation worldwide, and besides inflation, we still have a lot of like things going on in the world in terms of the war in the Ukraine, still affecting things. There's many ways to look at this. At the very end of the day, we are paying more for the same. And I didn't like it when PlayStation did it. At least Xbox is consistent and they do it globally and not just in specific markets. That's the one thing. Doesn't make it good. Just saying they're consistent across the world. But for me, the timing could not be worse, honestly. I know why they did it after the Xbox showcase and not before the Xbox showcase. They could have done that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But coming off of Redfall, and that being the only first-party game, major first-party game, the bigger one, not counting the Pentiments and stuff, the first, first-party game coming to that subscription service in 18 months and then increase the price. Yeah, they could not have done that. Now they have goodwill again from the community because of this fantastic showcase. And of course, at some point, they have to do that. So, yeah, price increase for console sucks. I wonder why they didn't increase it for the Series S.
Cheaper build.
If it's like,
Got a much bigger
you know,
overhead.
if it's, yeah, I don't know if the overhead is that much bigger, honestly. I'm not sure.
It is. It's mainly
because
down
logistic
to
prices.
it's mainly down to the way that they manufacture the S over the X. So the X's main issue is the fact that it has its split motherboard, which is far more costly to manufacture than
Yeah.
the single motherboard.
But that's why it costs double the amount, you know. And of course, the SoC is a little bigger, but
Yeah.
for the most part,
It's just
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the overhead is the thing. At the very end, a lot of the costs of these products go into logistics, shipping them
yeah, it's mainly
around the
it's
globe
the
and stuff
increase
like
is
that.
mainly, and I guarantee it, because if anybody tries shipping anything, if I tried shipping something to Pat now, that was a controller, for instance, he's probably paying half of the cost of the controller just in shipping prices now to send to him. Like, it's obscene how much things are costing to send around the world now.
Exactly. So yeah, and they have to ship the parts to the plant. They have to ship the final product to the customer, and so it's like, yeah, you can find a lot of different arguments one way or the other. At the end of the day, we're paying more. I find two things very, very weird. First is, why don't they increase the Game Pass price on PC and just on console? It is another like punch in the face of the console customer.
Yeah.
And Xbox is so obviously not caring about the console gamer anymore. It's ridiculous. It's so obvious that they don't give a damn about us console gamers. This is what annoys me. You know, PC Game Pass price stays the same, console price is increased. Why? Yeah. It's like they're treating us second-class citizens, like Jack Purchase here in the chat says. Exactly. We are second-class citizens in the Xbox ecosystem if you're a console owner. And they have been showing us that for the last 2 years, and they are not doing anything to mitigate that. Yeah? So that's one thing that really bugs me about this, besides, of course, that we have to pay more for this. The other thing is, Xbox has not had a good generation so far. I dare argue it has been the worst start of a console generation ever for them. Ever. Even the Xbox One was better for them, because in the first 2 or 3 years of the Xbox One, they had games. They did not have games in the last 2.5 years. They had Halo and Forza, and that's it. Coming off of this, and just saying, okay, before we start to finally give the gamers what we have been promising them 5 years ago, good AAA quality games, Starfield. Yeah, before you do that, there you have to pay more. I think this is just not what we should expect from them. It is not good. I would understand if we all said eventually they're gonna increase the Game Pass price. I did not expect them to do that in 23. I did not.
No, I thought they would have done it next year.
I can, if you have games like Starfield, Avowed, Hellblade, you know, the big ones, Fable, in there, and then increase the price, I think we all would say, okay, hey, at least I'm getting something out of this. But right now, today, we have not been getting much out of it. We have had smaller indies for the last couple of years. I'm still saying it's a great value for me personally. But if you look at this, at the hard facts, what were the bigger games that they have released into Game Pass? it was a Plague Tale Requiem last year. Period. That's it. That's the bigger game that they released day one in there. Yeah. And I understand why people argue about the value of Game Pass. Is it still there? Is it? I get that. For me, it's there. For me personally, it's there because I play so many games and different games and smaller games.
Yeah.
But
we play lots of other things. If I ask a lot of people,
but again,
I ask a lot of people on Twitter. Exactly, I ask a lot of people on Twitter, and they don't.
But we
play
are the
these smaller
hardcore
titles.
bubble, you know. We are the hardcore bubble. We would also buy the consoles if they cost $700 or $800. Yeah, let's be real. We would do that. So I'm not sure if my personal opinion here is the thing, and I'm just putting that out there. I understand why people are asking the question: Is it really worth it? And in this situation, Xbox comes in and increases the price. I don't think that's a good timing. I don't think that's the right message to us gamers, and especially not to console gamers. So, yeah, not a good move.
So,
unfortunately.
I do agree with you there, 100%. I don't think it was the right time to increase the price. I think this price increase for Game Pass should have come after Starfield, towards Christmas time.
Exactly. If you have a couple of bigger games in there, if you have Starfield, Forza, and I don't know when Stalker 2, apparently it's still coming out this year. If you have those, then people would digest it. But now, you know what is happening. They had a good 10 days after the showcase. And now everyone's going back to asking the questions about Xbox. When are we getting our money's worth? When are we getting the games? And that's unfortunate. They could have just kept the price for another 6 months. They can more than afford that. Yeah, increasing the price by $1 or $2, depending on doesn't really make much of a difference. They could have waited for another couple of months, and after you provide what you promised gamers, then you do the price increase. So and then do it for PC as well, and not make the console gamers again feel like second class.
On a percentage wise,
I don't get
the
it.
subscription's going up by 18% in percentage terms.
Yeah,
that's a big increase. As much as people look at it as £2, but we have to detach ourselves sometimes in these discussions, as we have to do with when we're discussing this. Like, all of us can afford £2 or £1 a month. We can afford an extra £20 for a console. We can afford this. But we have to detach ourselves from this little bubble every now and again, and I think chat needs to do that sometimes. We can all afford this stuff, including chat. But the casuals and those who are financially a little bit worse off, that have been paying £10 for a subscription, it might have been the only thing they could really get as a subscription because they don't have Netflix, because they've canned that off because it increased. They don't have Disney Plus because that increased. So Xbox Game Pass might have been the one thing that they could afford to pay for every month as their subscription, and that's going up now as well. So it's something that they're going to have to weigh up, and whether or not they can still afford to do it going forward. We've got to detach it and think more of those who are potentially in worse off scenarios that are us than we are. We're in a scenario where we can afford to do this stuff. Detach ourselves from that and have a look at the price increases for the casuals and those on lesser financial circumstances, and that's what we have to kind of think in. So, and that's across the board. Price increases are horrible. We've had the slightly good news that energy prices are decreasing next month. Woohoo! Yeah. But it's, I mean, I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, a whole £10 a month different. Yay!
It's like, yeah, of course. We like you're right. I think Emil in the chat brings up a good argument here. Microsoft can't increase Game Pass after the purchase of ABK.
Correct.
I think that is a very fair point.
They're doing it beforehand, but they did promise. They said we will not, if these games go drop into the catalog, we will not be increasing prices because of that. So
yeah. I think it's a very fair and valid point. I haven't thought about it that way, but there's definitely something to it. Then again, on the other hand, I have to say I'm sick and tired of making excuses because of ABK. We hear excuses because of ABK all the time. Like they were not able to manage the studios because they didn't have the time. They were caught up there. They couldn't release games because it would make them look bad and all these things. I don't care. I don't care. At the end, we are the customer. We are paying more money for the same thing. But I see your point, man. I do see the point, and it could very well be that there is something to this. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And again, I'm exactly the same. Actually, I ditched Netflix and I've ditched Amazon. There's nothing I want to watch on them right now. Netflix, when Stranger Things season 5 comes on next year, I'll sign up again. Watch Stranger Things season 5.
It's still like a year away.
Yeah, watch Stranger Things season 5 and turn it off.
The Witcher, the Witcher.
Yeah,
season
probably watch
3,
season
dude.
3. Yeah, probably watch that. But then I'll cancel again.
I don't care enough to watch that. As soon as I heard Henry Cavill was leaving, I dipped on season 2. I was like 4 episodes in. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm good.
And it was one of
I
them
don't need
things.
to see that.
It's one of them things. Though sometimes you just got to go through and you've got these subscriptions that you pay for that you never use. You just never use them or enough. Amazon was one of those where I used it for Amazon Prime when I was buying loads of stuff all the time, and I'm not buying anything on Amazon Prime now, and I don't need anything delivered sharpish, so I cancelled that. They don't really have loads on there in terms of TV shows or movies, so
Really? Amazon Prime, dude.
yeah, but I don't.
That is the one thing that I would cancel last. Honestly, not because of the streaming thing, but because of
delivery.
shipment, dude.
Yeah, but I haven't
Delivery.
I haven't been buying.
I guess that's the good thing about Amazon Prime is you don't only just get the streaming service, you get like your deliveries included on that next day, which is fairly decent.
But even saying that though, like they went through a phase during and after the pandemic where a lot of items, and this isn't just in the UK, a lot of items that were turning up on Amazon were damaged or had issues or missing or broken.
Oh yeah, that's a recent one for me.
Consistent.
Well, not me personally, but
agree,
my dad ordered a brand new Xbox controller because it packed up. He had to send it back to get repaired, and they sent the controller not even in the box. It was just the Xbox controller box, so you could see what it was. The driver wanted to be off with that. He could have been.
It is mad. It was absolutely mad. But yeah. So that's why one of the reasons I cancelled Amazon. It was a case of just like consistent issues like that, and then nothing on the streaming service. I don't listen to Amazon Music. Well, nothing on the streaming service I wanted to watch that I hadn't already seen because Amazon's usually the last people to get something on there. But yeah, it's just a case of you've got to prioritize, and people on lower incomes or things like that, they have to prioritize these things a little bit differently. So yeah, still waiting for the friends and family pass though, because I still think a lot of people will be using that. I certainly will be. I'll be getting friends and family because again, for those in the same country, it might be I'll be getting it to give to my friends and family to use Gamepass at no additional cost when that gets announced. But it's still not been rolled out officially yet. And I'll be doing it, so that means my friends and family will have Gamepass at no cost. Up to 5, I think it is. 6 including yourself. So that's going to be a great added bonus. And again, we'll see what the pricing is going to come in at that. I think it's going to be around 15 to 20 or something a month. And if you do that over 5, a lot of people will just be like, yeah, I'll just pay whatever my share is on that. And it's a substantial saving for people. So there's avenues in the future that are going to make it even more cost effective for people on lower incomes, especially if you get the friends and family pass, and your friends and your family can chip in towards one subscription, which is like 20, and divvied up against 5-6 people, that makes it like £5 for an ultimate Game Pass subscription for a month as opposed to £12. So yeah, it's all about options So one thing we can't say about Game Pass is it is a lot of options. You can just get the console version.
It's options. It's still a great value.
Yeah.
Don't we cannot underemphasize that. If you did enjoy Game Pass in the past, you're gonna enjoy it in the future because it's $2 a month. More. It's just again, I feel. What do you think? Why don't they increase it on PC?
I have no idea why they haven't done it on PC as yet. I don't know. Is it because, and we've seen this on PC as well, because the PC, another question is why are games cheaper on PC? Why are games 20 quid cheaper on PC digitally when they're selling the same digital game on Xbox?
Well, see, I mean, that's the thing about console gaming, because like depending of course on the game, usually the cut on a console game is 20 to 30% goes to the platform holder, depending of course on the game. But that's how they recoup the money. Yeah. The thing is, with the subscription service, it's different. It feels different. Let me put it this way: it feels different. Yeah. So.
Thanks, Balantone, by the way, for the birthday wishes. Yeah, on PC as well. I don't think they have the full catalog that they have on Xbox either.
Nope. But vice versa also. Yeah, we still have many games on PC that we can't play on console.
Yeah, there's a lot of, but a lot of them are like RTS games that haven't been converted to a console version. So we can't, even if we wanted to, we can't, because there isn't an edition to go out on console. Which is why we're glad that they're bringing Age over, because of course everybody loves Age and they want to play Age on console. So happy news, of course, is that.
See, I feel we need to move on. Xbox actually has a great vibe right now.
They do, and that's the next topic. To be fair, that's the next topic, because the big topic of the show,
more on the positive
stuff for everybody in chat who thinks we're being overly negative about it. The positive news for Xbox is that the future of Xbox is indeed very bright, and it's looking even brighter still going forwards. Now we've just come off the back of a mega showcase, probably one of the best that they've had in recent memory. I would say even a little bit better than the showcase in 2020 or 2021, where they originally announced a lot of these games.
It was 2020, where we got the trailers for Fable, Avowed, State of Decay 3.
And it was great then, because we got told about these IPs that are being made, but we had zero gameplay to back that up. So it was great for announcements and going, woo, look at all these. But then we needed to see the substantial stuff, which was the gameplay, right? What does the game look like? How does it play, etc. And I think this, in comparison to that, edged it for me when I've been kind of retrospectively thinking about it, because in this show we've seen more of the actual game that we're looking forward to play, but we also seen a good mixture of different titles. I like the diversity that we got on this showcase. I like the fact that, of course, we had a little bit of everything. We had side-scrolling action adventures. We've had this absolutely monstrous space RPG that we're getting in Starfield that looks like just phenomenal. We've got Clockwork Revolution, which looks absolutely insane. Another first-person FPS RPG. You've action platformers. You've got just anything and everything that you can think of. I think Xbox pretty much spoke about. A brand new racing game, and Hellblade, which is a kind of an immersive, mentally challenging game to kind of deal with. And then you've got Fable, this whimsical open world RPG from Playground, and so many really big things coming to Xbox. And we know as well now, after the show, that they mentioned, of course, this is just the start. We've only mentioned a couple of the titles that are coming out next year. We still haven't announced a couple that are also dropping next year. So there's lots lots of awesome things happening. The one thing I want to kind of get your guys, because I think it was just me and Jen last week that we were catching up on what our kind of picks of the showcase season was. But Boxy, you were off getting a rest and having some time with the wife. So I want to hear your thoughts on the showcase period, your top picks. What are your favorite moments of the showcase period and your favorite games that were showcased?
Let me start with the non-Xbox stuff before we,
Yes.
Because otherwise we could talk for an entire podcast just about Xbox. And I think we're gonna do that tomorrow as well, and we will do it later. So I want to get the other stuff out of the way first. I think Ubisoft had a pretty good showing this year. Seriously, I know.
Apart from the layout, because we got bored watching it, but the games were good. The layout,
the games were good. That's the thing. Of course, like the show itself, it is a typical Ubisoft showcase. You know, you have the dancing on stage, you have the weird ass mobile games.
Yeah, you had to remind me of the dancing on stage.
Yeah, sure. But if we break it down, I think Ubisoft had the best showing in years. For them, they had Avatar looked fantastic. Let's be real, it looked fantastic. Snowdrop engine looks phenomenal, and of course, Avatar with its popping colors and this fantastical world is looking really cool. I cannot wait to see like the more like actual continued gameplay, but the segments they've shown, I like the idea of it being first person, honestly, like this mixture of a Ubisoft open world game, which I do like. I do like them. And they're trying, I know people say they make always the same game and whatnot, but when you look in reality, the open worlds game they made are vastly different. I feel like an Immortals Phoenix Rising is something very different from a Far Cry, which is a fantastic sandbox open world, and obviously something entirely different to an Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I do feel like they do like to make those open world games, but they try to give everyone a certain touch, and I appreciate that. So, and this one looks like that it has the first person traversal of Mirror's Edge or Dying Light. 2 was especially phenomenal. So, like this combination in this Avatar world with obviously the Ubisoft touch, I thought it looked great. Assassin's Creed Mirage looked amazing. Assassin's Creed games always look good, but I like that this game is going back to the roots. Like this 15-20 hour experience. Cannot wait.
Yeah,
seriously,
I thought more up my street for an Assassin's Creed game. I can't wait to play Mirage myself.
So I thought this looked phenomenal, and then honestly, one of the biggest surprises for me of the entire showcase season was Star Wars. Their Star Wars game. It visually, of course, is absolutely stunning, and I know. Before people bring it up in the chat, it's gonna be downgraded. Ubisoft likes to show games running at super high.
Like to show their games super pretty at first, and then you can tell at launch there's been some sort of downgrade.
Exactly. Maybe on a 4090 it will look like that, but even if they downgrade that, it looked really good. I was surprised.
Yeah.
That they showed so much continued gameplay. Like no other publisher during this entire showcase season has shown that much continued gameplay of any games. They did it for Avatar, they did it for Assassin's Creed, they did it for Star Wars. And I gotta give them credit for that. I really, Star Wars was one of the biggest surprises of this entire showcase season for me personally. So yeah, I definitely wanted to mention that. I cannot wait for.
I was going to say as well
game.
for Star Wars, it was great seeing it show off like that following the fact that
Yeah.
we'd seen it at Xbox and thought, okay, this is CGI. It's great to see the announcement, but what's
CGI.
it play like?
Yeah.
And then we seen it the next day, and we were like, "Oh, okay, okay."
Yeah. And
Yep.
it was not like 3 seconds
Yep.
snippet in between cinematics.
Like
It
8
was like
minutes of
really
continuous-
10-minute continued
Yep.
gameplay. Combat, traversal, conversations, everything was in there. So
Space combat, wanted
yeah,
system.
space combat, absolutely. This is what I thought was a very good showing for them. So I did enjoy that. Then we had, what else did we have? We had the Summer Game Fest. See, and from the top of my head, I find it hard to remember.
I only remember two things
exactly
from
what-
Summer Game Fest, and that's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and the Spider-Man release
Yes.
date.
Right. I see. I only remembered Rebirth, which
I'm trying to think about the
but
rest.
you're
and I
right.
really
They
can't
saved
think about the rest.
they announced the release date of Spider-Man. See, and which is weird, to be honest, because the best things that PlayStation had to announce in this entire showcase season, they did at the Summer Game Fest, are not their own.
Yeah.
Because we knew how Spider-Man is gonna play like. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I'm very much looking forward to it. I think it looks phenomenal. I can't wait to see what they do with Venom and the going back and forth in between Miles and Peter and it's I cannot wait. But I knew what what was going to get. I still thought maybe a bigger jump in the visuals, but again, it still looks so phenomenal that it's still one of the best looking games coming out this year. So who really cares? But no, a release date was obviously a letdown at their own showcase.
Yeah.
One of the many letdowns, because this was the only like major first party game that people cared about. And no release date, and they showed that at the Keeleys, so weird. And then Rebirth, they could have like, if they would have put Rebirth in their own show, that would have been a significantly bigger.
Especially the amount of gameplay they showed.
Yeah, and it looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
I still feel bad for the Xbox fans because the Final Fantasy VII remake was phenomenal.
Yeah,
it just was like a super magical world. Like visuals hit it, music hit it, the way how they changed gameplay, the way how they introduced some side quests and stuff. I thought it was phenomenal. And I cannot wait for Rebirth. So those definitely stood out outside of the actual Xbox showcase. Probably forgetting one or two games from the top of my head. But then, yeah, the Xbox showcase. The Xbox showcase, like you said, Dutch, was, I thought, really, really, really good. I know I've seen people complain about, well, we didn't get to see the enough big bangers. Perfect Dark wasn't there. Yeah, there was, and other State of Decay wasn't there, and people mentioned all the games that were not there, and we forget that in one showcase we got Fable, we got Hellblade, we get Forza, we get Starfield, we get Clockwork. I always want to say Clockwork Orange, but obviously Revolution, Clockwork Revolution.
South of Midnight.
South of
One was
Midnight.
the only one, to be honest. Every time I hear Clockwork, I always think of Clockwork Orange. So
Yeah. But so, see, what else do you want to have in one single showcase? They've shown you like 6 major releases. Okay, you could argue maybe, I don't know, South of Midnight. I don't know whether that's gonna be like really a major AAA experience. I feel like this game is more like a AA experience, like Hi-Fi Rush, like on that level. I'm not sure. It's just
It was say that, but I'm
specula-
pretty sure that they've already came out and said that this title's going to be a AAA game. I think it's their first one.
I'm not sure. if they said that. But yeah, maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't care. Honestly, I don't care.
Yeah.
Hi-Fi Rush was one of the best games of this year. So who cares if it's AA or AAA? But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like they have so many major games in that showcase.
Yeah.
Starfield, Fable, Hellblade, Avowed. I forgot about Avowed in the same showcase. Dude, like it's insane if you think about it and just put it down. I loved what they have done with most of their showings. Avowed is exactly how you show off a game at that stage. If the game isn't ready yet to be revealed with like lengthy gameplay, like 5 minutes continued gameplay, I actually don't want that in these packed shows. That would have been more something like for the extended showcase. But after this 3-minute trailer, we've got like segments of gameplay. We know how the game looks. We know what it's going to be like, and we know what it tries to be. And that's how you show a game, yeah. And they've shown more of Fable than I thought they would. I said they're gonna open with Fable. By the way, we got it right. For those who said it's gonna be the opening game,
yeah.
But I thought it is more like in-engine flyovers, flyover over Albion or something like that. I expected something like that just to show off like a little bit of the art style and the engine. And I know it's not continued gameplay. What people want, like, yeah, there was gameplay in it, 3 seconds. But hey, we got more. We got the vibe. We got the art style. We got a glimpse of an idea what gameplay or combat is gonna look like. They've shown more combat for that than for Hellblade, yeah. So, man, fantastic showing. I mean, we get into Starfield probably a little bit separately because like 40 minutes of the Starfield Direct, which still getting goosebumps, man.
Yeah.
Still getting goosebumps.
I've watched it multiple times, but I've also watched people watching the showcase going, this game, just keep going. And like just watching how surprised they are at just how much content is in that game. And then see the IGN previews of it. They're talking about their preview that they played for an hour, and they're saying, listen, it's as big as they're saying it is. It works. They didn't have any technical issues, which they did when they were playing other Bethesda titles.
Yeah.
They didn't report any technical issues playing an hour of this. They had a number of saves throughout the game, so they played it, and really positive reviews. So even people that were trying to dial themselves back after this massive 40-minute showcase have now been boosted in hype again after IGN looked at it and went, no, actually, we've played it, and it's as good as they say it is.
That's the thing, right? Yeah. That's the thing. Xbox, they did a phenomenal job. Let's be real here. Yeah, they did a phenomenal job in showing off the games. There are minor things you could nitpick on. Yeah, again, I've said this after the show. I stand by it. I still feel like Xbox is not in there where they want to be with consistent releases, because every game that comes out from first party this year was supposed to come out last year, and they do not release an actual game. So what was their plan this year? Feel like this is just something. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just a Boxenberger thing. I don't know.
No, it is true. It is true. But I mean, we'll definitely forgot about it when we're playing Starfield, but it's true.
Yeah. That's the thing. We definitely will forget about it as soon as we have games to play in our hands. But the point is, the future of Xbox looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I just do hope that they will be able to deliver. Because as an Xbox fan, I have been let down by them so many times now that of course I look at 24, which has now Avowed and Hellblade in it. Both of them look, I know people criticized Avowed, but super excited for them. But of course I have the concern one of them is going to slip 24. maybe both of them. Who knows? The track record has not been reliable. So of course, I personally have certain concerns about that. But then on the other hand, and we're gonna dive into that in detail, of course, tomorrow, Dutch. But Phil talked about 24 and beyond, and of course he said, like, yeah, it's not all we've shown. Yeah, it's not all. So, I mean, at the end of the day, at some point, those games have to come out because it's ridiculous how long they have been in development. Yeah, Fable, 6 years plus already in development. Around about 6 years in development, and so even Hellblade is 5.5 years or so in development now. It's like, yeah, of course, eventually all those games have to come out. Perfect Dark, 5 years now in development. Yeah, already. We forget that they started that game in 2018. Yeah, it's 5 years now. So many of those games are so long in development that eventually they have to come out, even with delays. Yeah. But again, this, I don't want to emphasize this too much because I'm still super excited about the entire showcase. I loved what I've seen. I loved what Fable looks like. Man, that's super exciting. I love Obsidian.
Yeah.
I really do. About looked really like, I don't want them to copy Skyrim. I want to do their take on a high fantasy open world RPG, and it looks very much Obsidian.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Clockwork, definitely a surprise. They've shown so much of that game. I also thought, if they first announcement, come on, we gotta give them credit.
Yeah.
Like,
That's how you
Fable,
do
they
a
could
first
not have.
announcement. That's what a first announcement should be like.
Ooh, yeah. Most of it, and we forget that, yeah, most of these games always get announced with CGI, and then 3 years later we see a glimpse of gameplay. And
But you can you can also see why In Exile's social media team have been so chirpy recently. Like and even now they're being like super chirpy, and they're still putting silly posts on and things like that. And I'm like, you can see they're ramping up, and they've got a good feel about the studio, and that was very well portrayed in the game showing, and that really should be a staple for every one of Microsoft's announcements going forward on how you showcase a game for the first time. If you can showcase a game for the first time, that it was not even like we didn't even have the name of the game previously teased. Like we didn't even know, we just knew NXL was working on something. So where we had the name of Avowed because we had a CGI trailer, and we knew Fable because we had a CGI trailer, and we knew other games because we had CGI. Clockwork. This was Clockwork's initial first reveal. They didn't even bother with CGI. They went straight into gameplay with an awesome music soundtrack, really cool gameplay features. They showcased a bit about the story, some of the powers, the fact that it was time travel and awesome kind of traversal that way. They showed the gun combat off. They showed the world off a bit. Like that is which is what and why it was my standout of the show. After kind of retrospectively thinking about the showcase, was because it was the perfect first showing from a game. I don't think I've ever seen a game showcase itself that well for the first reveal.
First time, the first reveal, and they nailed it. So, yeah, man, there is so much we have to give them credit for. Is it a perfect showcase? No, it was not. It was definitely not. But again, it's one of the best. Actually, people say, it's the best showcase Xbox has had. Yes, no, I think, if honestly, try to remember when did PlayStation have the last great showcase? I mean, the last one obviously was definitely a letdown, and even the one they had 2 years ago, was like, okay, here are a handful of games that are coming in the next couple of months, and then that's it. I don't feel like any publishers had such a good showcase in recent years, like in the last 5 years or so. and that goes to show, that they are not kidding around. Xbox, they are not. They have still the most diverse portfolio of any of the bigger publishers. And from what I have seen, I'm genuinely excited about the future of Xbox.
Yeah.
I am. I'm still skeptical on the deliverance because
Yep.
like executing and actually delivering,
Still have to be
not
consistent.
their strong suit.
Yep.
Yeah, not their strong suit. So, but I'm genuinely excited for what's to come, and that they have the confidence. That is what is I like to see, that they have the confidence to come out and announce games like Clockwork Orange,
Yep, Clockwork Orange, yep.
Revolution, like that they come out and show off Fable like that they come out and show Avowed like that.
Yeah.
This shows that they are confident in the games, and that's what I like to see and what I like to get excited about. So yeah. But Dutch, we got a super chat coming in, man.
We do, yeah. It's a birthday super chat, this one. So Baz Cryptkeeper, £4.99 says, "Get yourself a drink, mate." Thank you very much. I will do. I'll save that for the weekend. I'll get myself a drink on the weekend because unfortunately I've got to be an adult and go to work this week. So I'll have a drink on the weekend. I'll get myself a nice ale. Maybe it's a ghost ship ale from Morrison's. Get a few of them picked up and in the house. Looking forward to it. Hopefully the weather's delightful for when I've got a nice weekend off. But yeah, thank you for that. Much appreciated. Jen, I'm going to roll on here because I've already asked you last week what your favourite things were for the show. But going forward, there's still a lot to be looking forward to for Xbox in the future. And we had, of course, the many interviews and the updates and things like that from both Matt Booty and Phil Spencer saying, listen, we're not done this year. We've announced a couple of games that are coming out in 2024, but we haven't announced a couple that are also coming out in 2024. They're still yet to be announced. So clearly they're still gearing up, and they made point to it. There's still Gamescom, there's still Tokyo Game Show, there's still the Game Awards, and there's still potentially another direct, which they kind of said, and then Phil was kind of like, "Shh, shut up." He said, "Don't talk about it yet." So
yeah,
clearly,
I feel there will be another direct this year. It's obvious, and I'd imagine Avowed could possibly be early next year, with Hellblade being the holiday release, or the other way around.
I thought that originally, and then
I feel like it's more the other way around.
Then I seen the comments from the developer saying that it's kind of in alpha beta, or at least it's going into alpha beta in terms of its polishing phases. So I don't know whether or not that'll be first now, but I also don't know with Hellblade because we haven't really seen much of Hellblade yet either.
I hope it would be a Hellblade, and I hope they blow the doors off. They need to show full combat. They keep refusing to show full combat.
See, the thing is, I've thought about this, and it's either two ways. The game is further away than we think it is, and they hope they can make Holiday 24 and then delay it to 25. That's the one scenario, but I like to think more positive.
Yeah.
I think that the game hopefully comes out first half, early, like spring 24, and that they have a dedicated direct plan to blow your socks off, maybe a first glimpse at the Game Awards, and then after they bring home all those trophies for winning Game of the Year with Starfield, they show off on the Keighley stage. There you go. This is like combat. I
don't think we're going to see Hellblade again at the Keighleys.
And then they announce on stage, and you will see a full gameplay reveal at the.
I don't think we will.
Xbox Direct in January.
Hellblade showing up at the Game Awards is over. I think Microsoft's presence at the Game Awards this year, with it being obviously the 10-year anniversary of the Game Awards, they're going to have something special to announce.
Mm.
And it won't be showing Hellblade gameplay. That will be for its own thing. The next time we see Hellblade gameplay will be a direct.
So what do you think?
What do you
it will
think,
be then?
Dutch?
What Game Awards?
Yeah. If you think it's going to be something
Hard to
special,
say.
what do you think it's going to be?
Hard to say. I've got a gut feeling it could be a Gears 6 trailer at the Game Awards. I don't think Microsoft are going to show up with just one thing. It's a big deal with the Keighley's been going for 10 years. I know it's the Game Awards, but a lot of people call it the Keighley's.
Sean
But
says, what
yeah,
about the
I think it's
Perfect
going to be a
Dark?
big Microsoft presence.
Sean
We could
says-
see more of Perfect Dark because it was announced at the Game Awards originally. So maybe there's something there, maybe a little snippet of gameplay or whatnot. I think all of the companies are going to have a big presence at the Game Awards this year. They're going to have big announcements from all of them.
We'll see. We shall see. We shall see. The one thing I'm kind of looking forward to, and Boxy is now as well, is with them saying that there's still Gamescom, there's still TGS, there's still. Can we get?
I mean, we
can
are so
get
hoping
this?
for Gamescom, right?
Can we get this something awesome revealed at Gamescom? Can we?
Can we
anyone
please?
from Xbox, please? Makes it even more
You know-
awesome for us, please.
We've seen all the influencers fly to LA and having a great time, and I'm happy for them. But we need to have the same at Gamescom, and it's gonna be awesome to meet you all. But if you can accompany that with some awesome game announcement, it just elevates the excitement even.
I think they'll have something for Gamescom. Their presence at Gamescom is only expanding over time, so surely they'll have something at Gamescom. Might only be a one big announcement with some smaller announcements. I think Tokyo Game Show might be the place where we see Kojima's project.
I don't know.
The Game Awards will likely be a big presence from Xbox as well as PlayStation and Nintendo.
We shall see. We shall see. I think the next Xbox Direct will probably have Avowed and Hellblade in them. I think that's what the next Xbox Direct will have. I think that'll be focused on them too, because they're the ones that are the first ones revealed for 2024 releases, and probably the first ones that are going to get deep dives into gameplay or some form of deep dive into gameplay with release dates. But there's so much left to announce. And again, they've mentioned that there's still a couple of games that are coming out next year that they haven't announced yet. I think realistically, if there's any studios that would be in a position to do that, it's probably going to be either Machine Games or id Tech.
Yeah.
I think they are both qualified to do it.
Well, that's
but
something
also
else we've
capable.
got coming up this year as well. is
QuakeCon, right?
Yeah.
QuakeCon.
It's always a good possibility there, yeah.
So I'm kind
I
of
mean,
hoping,
I would love
I'm kind
I
of
would
hoping
love
we
for
get
them-
like Quake Reboot for next year in 24, because that would just blow my socks off. I would love that. I would love that. And I know Machine Games are
I would
working
appreciate them.
on. I know Machine Games are working on indie, but I also know they're working on something else. So it's a case of what else alongside indie you're working on. So I think it's going to be either id Tech or id and Machine Games that are going to have the other games for next year, because they've said that there's a couple of extra, although they have already technically got 3 lined up. So their remit for 4 games in a year, just to kind of underline what they class as a game a quarter now, is a brand new game, AAA or AA. It can be a sequel or a brand new IP. It cannot be an update to an existing IP. What they've already ruled out for next year is Flight Sim 2024. They've said that isn't counted as one of the 4 for next year. Yes, it's Flight Sim 2024. Microsoft themselves said to Asobo and their own team, listen, like, is this just an update? And that team said, no, we've made enough technical advancements to actually have a full next launch of a brand new title. But Xbox aren't counting that as one of the 4. They've already ruled that out. So that leaves 3 games that have been announced as potentially one of the 4. We have Avowed, which has been scribbled down as 24. We've got Hellblade 2, which is scribbled down as 24. And we have AA game Towerborn, which is also down as 2024. So there's 3. However, we could get another 1 or 2 AAAs on top of that next year as well. It's a case of what do we expect that to be. And that's the exciting part, because there's a lot of games that we haven't seen. We could still get Contraband, but we just haven't seen it too much. We could still get, as we mentioned, Quake or Machine Games. We could still get something along those lines. So what do we expect? Jen, first of all, what do we expect? What do you think next year as one of the other games that will drop into this 24 remit?
I feel most likely it'll be Wolf 3.
Wolf 3, ooh. Wolfenstein. Boxy, do you
Yeah,
want
there you go.
I'm not going to try and say it properly because Boxy will murder me because I'm terrible at pronouncing things.
You pretend the W is a V, it's like a soft V.
Yeah,
Wolfenstein.
exactly.
Wolfenstein.
There we go.
Yeah, that was good.
That was a good one.
That was good.
There
That
we
was
go.
good.
Yeah,
So,
I think it'll be
Wolfenstein 3.
the third one of
We should call it Wolfenstein 3 because if we keep it German, then we need to translate 3 into
German
3.
also.
Yeah, exactly. So
Wolfenstein 3.
Wolfenstein 3. There we go. For a long time, I have been saying that I expect that game to come soon-ish, at least with a reveal. My way of thinking was about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, they announced Indie.
Yeah.
But Machine Games released their last game in 2017. So what have they been working on since 2017? They have been working on something, of course. And when they announced Indie, it was probably at a very early stage. And I feel like Todd Howard focused on his baby Starfield.
Yes.
He's the game director as well for Indie. So, and the man has only so much hours in the day. So I don't think that.
He's not the lead. I don't think he's the lead. He is a director on Indie, but he's not the lead director.
Be that as it may,
I think
I'm not
Indie's
sure.
definitely still progressing. I think they're definitely this.
Yeah,
That's
so-
far along.
Just so, and then I was always like, okay, they have to have Wolfenstein more or less ready. Now, the thing is, with it being so absent for all those showcases over the last year, I'm not sure if they're gonna announce and release it. I'm not sure. Bethesda likes to do those things, I know, but they are part of Xbox now, and so I'm not sure if we get a Wolfenstein 3 that soon. I have the feeling like they are obviously working on it to some degree.
Is 6
doubt.
years not quick enough, like, or it's...
That's the thing. Listen to my train of thought. They obviously run their game on the id engine, and the id engine 7 is also now, I want to say at least, I mean, Doom Eternal was, when did Doom Eternal come out? That was 3 years ago, so it's 3 years old now. And I feel like it is working on the id engine 8. They're gonna come out with Quake first, and then Wolfenstein is gonna run in the same engine. It's just my guess. But so I'm not sure if we get one of those games next year. I do have the feeling that Tango Gameworks could be a candidate for next year. Because
That's
with
a good shout,
Hi-Fi
because they did hint towards they're working
exactly,
on something.
it's not their main game. Hi-Fi Rush, they said that it's not their main game. They have been hinting it multiple times now. Yeah, whenever they come out with something on Hi-Fi, to some degree, I have the feeling they have something bigger in the works, or they confirmed that, and I'm not sure. I mean, their last big game, Evil Within 2, was, I want to say 2018, without looking it up. Could have been 19, I don't know, but it's also been a while, yeah. And those smaller studios tend to take less time for their releases. Not a Tango.
Evil Within 2 was 2017.
See, there you go. So there's got to be something there. And 24, that's 7 years then, right? So Tango is a candidate. I feel also that Bethesda ZeniMax Online.
Yeah, that's a good shout. They've been working on Elder Scrolls Online since 2014.
That's right. And was it in 2016? I feel it was 2016 without looking it up. That they said they started to work on the new IP and a new game. So whether it was 2016 or 17, doesn't matter. It's also in 24, 7, 8 years, something like that, in that ballpark. So I feel like that could be a candidate. And it would make sense to have that kind of game, because with Hellblade and with Avowed, they have two very highly single-player focused games. And then it's time for them to bring a new, bigger games as a service title. Xbox also knows they cannot launch like 3 games as a service titles a year. They cannot bring out State of Decay and the Bethesda game or close to it, because those games are designed as ongoing games. So that's definitely something that they want to spread out, because those games are time consuming, and even though they are probably two very vastly different games and have a different audience and whatnot, I still feel like they take those things into account. So that's also a good candidate. And then we have a couple of, I want to say, smaller studios, Double Fine. Yeah, we have also who have been working in parallel to Psychonauts 2 on another project. We know that. Yeah. So who knows? I mean, in 24, Psychonauts 2 is also it came out in 21, right? Psychonauts came out 21.
Yeah.
So that's who knows? Yeah. Then what about South of Midnight? How do we feel about that being a potential 24 release?
Yeah, they would have announced.
You don't think so?
They would have already announced it as 24. They said the game that is coming next year isn't one of the ones that they've announced.
Yeah. So
we know it's not Clockwork, which I think is going to be 25. We know it's not South. I think Clockwork and South of Midnight are 25 games.
Then, of course, the question mark is always around Stalker 2. Where will that game land? And when will that game land? Yeah.
But that's also not included within the game bracket. So that's just an addition. Which is good.
Not sure.
It's tough
Xbox
to say
Games Publishing, you know.
It's not counted as one of their own. It's specifically first party. It's not one of the second party IPs that they're working on.
Yeah, so
it's even good. It's even better. It's even better than you'd imagine. Yeah. Stalker 2 is
so
just the icing on the cake.
And I take it. Yeah. I know people want to see Gear 6.
Yeah.
I think we could see it next year, but I don't think it comes out next year.
I think we'll see it revealed next year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I think the Coalition are taking extra time with Gear 6 now. I think they want to. They've been working, as we know, hand in hand with Epic on the Unreal Engine
Yeah.
So I think they take an extra time to make use of everything they know for Gear 6.
I agree.
100%. I agree with
And
that.
I also feel like it's not just with Epic. We know that the coalition created a lot of own tools for Unreal 4
Yeah.
for themselves. And this time they are not creating those tools just for themselves, but they create those tools so that that the other studios will benefit from. So I think we should not underestimate how much time those kind of things take. And I feel that especially with the ending of Gears 5.
Yeah, the controversial ending, the choice-based ending.
Exactly. I feel like they want to kind of reinvent what Gears is with Gears 6, because they have to bring now this trilogy to final conclusion. And I feel like that they try to
go out with a bang.
Gears 6 will be different than the first 5. Yeah. So
I think it'll be.
What do you think, man?
I think Gear 6 will be an action-packed game. I think Gear 6, when they show it off, will be a huge finale. There's going to be some wild, explosive cutscenes in there and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
I think the story's going to go out with a bang. There's definitely going to be some twists and turns. But I do agree that they'll bring the close to that trilogy in a big way. But I also
I don't just think it'll be a close to the trilogy. I think it'll be a close to the main line Gears. That I think it'll be it. After that,
I think they'll
go back
it.
and do some prequel stuff.
I think they'll reboot after 6. They'll reboot it. I think, but they'll also I think they'll be working in tandem as it stands right now. I think they'll be finishing Gear 6 or doing Gear 6 alongside already working on something to do with what the next iteration of Gears is going forward. I think they'll already have them plans in motion. Right, okay, so after this, what's the plan? Because we need to have a plan.
Yeah, definitely.
We know they've intentionally took extra time this time around. They mentioned that with Gears 5 at the end of that, they said we're taking a break from Gears for a couple of a year or two before we start going full tilt on it again. So we know that.
See, I always wonder. We sometimes hear that studios take a break after releasing a certain game.
Usually,
what do you
for
guys
studios
think that this? Yeah, but what do you guys think that actually means for a studio?
For the
because at the
coalition
very
on
end
this
of the day,
case-
they have.
Yeah.
I know. Let me finish the question.
Go on.
Because the thing is, you have 200 people employed. You can't just pay a salary for a year to 200 people and them doing nothing.
Yeah.
So it's not gonna happen. Yeah.
Well,
of course,
they were
maybe.
working on that other project that supposedly fell through. So,
But specifically for the coalition, the break that they had, which was small in comparison, was filled up with things that had more to do with the engine. So they had their team working on Unreal tech demos, Unreal engines, things for the engine. So their break from Gears came in useful because they had a chance to refine the engine for what was going to happen.
I know they worked with Matrix and so on.
Yeah. So I think that was their break. For other studios, I think when they have a break from a mainline franchise, as we're seeing with Naughty Dog, they're trying something new. They're going in a different direction. We know Naughty Dog's next actual game outside of Factions is not Uncharted. We know it's not The Last of Us. It's a different game entirely. So it'd be interesting to see what they're working on, but that's a break from that franchise. And I think Coalition's break from Gears for a year or so was solely to refine what Unreal Engine 5 was and everything to do with it. As you mentioned as well, Boxy, the tools that they're using now or implementing in that is going to be for every one of the studios that are working at Microsoft to use Unreal and what tools they're putting into it in terms of the lighting, in terms of the visual aspect. That's the Coalition are the top dogs in the industry for Unreal for a reason. Like the work that they do with that engine's
They
phenomenal.
are. Oh, most certainly they are.
Yeah. So I expect nothing than the absolute cream of the crop on Unreal Engine when Gear 6 gets shown off. Like, even thinking about it now, I'm thinking what we've seen from Unreal Engine and what we know the Coalition are like with Unreal Engine, like, gives me goosebumps thinking about just what we're going to see with that game. Because what I've seen from the engine itself is already mind-blowing. Like, the level of detail and the worlds that you can create in Unreal Engine now, and the lighting that they've got in there with all of their lighting systems and everything like that is just insane. So
It's insane, dude.
to see what the Coalition's going to do with that, having a year just to work on the technical aspect of their job before beginning work on Gear 6, yeah, I think it's gonna be nuts. We just have to hope that they wrap up the story well. We've got to hope that the story's wrapped up in a satisfying way. We have to think. We look back at the original Gears 1, 2, and 3, and that trilogy was phenomenal. Like, the original Gears trilogy was insane. So, Gears 4 was good. Gears 5 was a good game, but again, it was mixed feelings on. We know it was mixed feelings on the story. Some people liked it, some people didn't. Some people didn't like Kate as a main protagonist, or JD. They didn't like the son instead. But it was. I liked in Gears 5 how they did something a bit different. I liked how they make it
I
like
did like-
semi-open world.
Gears 5 was awesome.
Yeah,
I
like.
loved the semi-open world stuff. I thought it brought a new. I've lost the word now. It brought new life to Gears.
Yeah.
Yeah. But people always criticize when they go off the classic formula. Then it's not Gears anymore. And then on the other hand, if they just stick to the same formula, it's the same all over again. So
Yeah, but you
this
can't
is-
win with people. The people, like, they complain when it's new and fresh and different.
They
and they
complain when
complain
it
when it's
isn't.
the same
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
We've had people complain about Call of Duty being the same game. And then when they change things up, they complain.
Yeah. Agree.
But yeah, it's
That's how it works.
it's just mad to think of. It's mad to think of just how many things. And even this year's not even finished yet, and it seems like every time a game comes out at the minute, it's just smashing it out the park. Today we've seen the Final Fantasy 16 Metacritic and OpenCritic scores, and that's sitting at 88 and 90. Like, how many games this year are going to come out that are going to be like 90 or 88, or scraping around that kind of high 80s, like early 90s? Like, it seems like every big game that's released this year seems to be coming out to critical acclaim. Like, I've never seen it like that. Hogwarts come out, it's absolutely smashed it out the park. It's done 30 million sales. Diablo's smashed it out the park. It's done at least 10 to 15 million in its opening day. Then we've got Final Fantasy 16 smashing out the park. We've had the Dead Space remake. We've, like, how many? And I guarantee I've forgotten a whole bunch, but every time. Jedi Survivor smashed it out the park. Really good reviews.
Yes.
Like, and it just seems to keep happening. And I guarantee, and I think Starfield will be the same. I think Starfield will be high 80s, early 90s. I think it'll be absolutely up there with a Game of the Year contender again as well. Spidey will release to 88s, 87s. It's
Do you mention Zelda?
Zelda, God, yeah, I nearly forgot about that. Zelda, Breath of the Wild, yeah. Tears of the Kingdom.
It's going to be a big battle for Game of the Year this year.
Oh God, yeah.
A big one.
What are
And
your
there's gonna be a
choices
lot
right
of
now?
people
It's
let
so
down.
hard. So hard. So I can't forget Hogwarts because I absolutely loved that to death. Like, I loved Hogwarts. Jedi Survivor is absolutely up there in the choosing as well for me. And right now, Diablo. in terms of my indie game, well, the indie/AA game, I don't know I don't even know what bracket to put it in, but Hi-Fi Rush is top.
Yeah.
But I don't know what
Yeah.
bracket to put that in. I don't know whether or not they class that as AA. Do they class it as an indie title or triple indie? I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, it's obviously not indie since it's Microsoft published, but
you know what I mean.
I
Yeah.
would put it in a AA space. I don't know. That's correct.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? It's hard to judge it because
That's-
it's not a big budget title. I
Yeah.
also wouldn't say it was AA because it's not a huge game. It's like it's what 8 hours, 6 hours, or something. It would fall more in the bracket of what you would class as a triple I, like a big triple indie, but it's not an independent studio, so you can't technically class it as an indie game. So yeah, it's weird, but yeah. So I think my top two, if I was to go out on a limb as it stands, and that's not even including Street Fighter, which was a friggin' 90 odd, 95 or something stupid.
Right.
Even excluding that, which is definitely the game of the year, better than Mortal Kombat, which hasn't released yet, but it
Nah, Mortal Kombat better.
but excluding that, my top two right now is still Hogwarts and Diablo. And I think, and I don't know how to position those because those are two entirely different types of games. So in my mind, I don't know how to battle that off between each other because I'm like, one's like a story-driven open world RPG, the other one's an isometric open world story-driven MMORPG. Like, it's really hard. So them two are battling in my mind for top spot right now. Jedi Survivor's kind of just underneath that. Street Fighter's underneath that again. So, and that's not including Starfield. That's not including when Spidey launches. That's God. Yeah,
It's tough. I don't think I can say what my game of the year is yet because I still need to complete a lot of the good ones I'm still playing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where would you say at the
It's
minute then
tough.
your kind of top 2, top 3 for this year are then, Jen? First of all, I'll let Boxy have a think about it a little bit longer.
I don't have one yet, to be honest. I'm trying to think. What games I've completed from start to finish story-wise or...
See, for
Yeah,
me,
it's tough.
I jump in while
Yeah,
Chen
of
is
course.
thinking. Okay. I think I'm in a similar boat like you. Hogwarts was phenomenal. I loved every second of it. But Diablo, I don't know. Diablo just it hit something for me, and maybe it's because I have so much nostalgia for the franchise. Maybe it's just because it feels like a real good modern experience. Came out with so far absolutely no issues. Well, there are always issues, but no noteworthy issues. I did enjoy Star Wars, absolutely. I did enjoy Zelda. I did enjoy Resident Evil 4 Remake. There were so many great games this year, but those two I think stand out. And honestly, the only one that I see on the horizon that is a true competitor to that is, of course, Starfield. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's. I'm even thinking of Starfield now. I'm like, they need to have review copies out for that, like August. You've just muted
Like
yourself.
3 years in advance.
You muted yourself when you thought you unmuted yourself there, Boxy.
Yeah, I thought I unmuted myself, but
Yeah, they're gonna have review copies out for Starfield like beginning of August.
like a month or so at least in advance.
Yeah, because I can't even imagine being a reviewer, and we have to think as well as a regular reviewer. If you're the ACG, for instance, who does everything himself, he's juggling like 5-6 games at a time.
Yeah.
And if he's got Starfield, but he's also got like every other mountain of games that are coming out in September, October, November to
Yeah.
review. Like I do not envy that task. I do not envy that task. Oh, imagine being some other guy like
I do
you're the
envy
guy
it a
who reviews
little because I
Starfield.
would love to play video games for a living.
Oh,
So
too right. Too right. But imagine having to try and review like that many games at the same time, especially one as big as Starfield.
yeah, sure.
Yeah. I envy it, but I
Starfield
also
is
don't
so
envy that
massive.
task because I couldn't imagine trying to have that many trails of thought in one go.
Although I mean, they did say that if you only focus like on the main campaign, you can finish it relatively quickly. Wasn't it like 35 to 40 hours?
Yeah.
That's what they said that you need for the main campaign.
So ideally, you want to give yourself maybe 60, 70 hours to explore some of the side content.
Yeah. And just see how is exploring, how is shipbuilding, how is base building. But I feel like that's the thing. And I love that about Cyberpunk did it as well.
Yes.
You can play through Cyberpunk in like probably, I want to say 25 hours.
Yeah.
Main campaign.
Yeah.
Plus minus, of course.
The problem with Cyberpunk, like it is with Starfield, is you'll go into some side missions thinking the main missions, and it feels like a main mission, but it's not a main mission.
Yeah,
Before
yeah.
you know it, you're like, oh, how?
And then you're off. And that is, I mean, even if I think back in Skyrim, I never played Skyrim like that, and I played it many times. But if you only focus like on the two main storylines,
Yeah.
you know, the Dragonborn storyline and the Revolution thing, is it? I would say you could probably finish Skyrim, those two main storylines also in like 40 hours or so. So I think with these, and then you're ripping yourself of the best experience because the thing about these Bethesda games is that there is no right way to play the game. It is all about going out to space to either explore, focus on shipbuilding, focus on, I don't know, base building, focus on all the side stories. And you know exactly that they will branch out massively. Yeah. That's just the way how these games are designed to be played.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, so it is a tough thing to review that.
That's
because
kind of
you have to
also one of
find-
the reasons that I don't envy having to review Starfield, because I wouldn't want to cut out any of that content to review it. I would want to just do all of it and take me time, but not work to a deadline, like play a game to a deadline. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like obviously at one point in the future I want to have this thing have midweek to a point where I'm able to throw review games at panel members and say, okay, I need you to review Starfield 2 or Elder Scrolls 7 or whatever it is. I want to get
Yeah.
I would love to be in a position in the future to be able to throw games at people and say, okay, Jen, I need you to review this month. Can you get on that and give us a review for that? I would love to be able to be in that position where we're able to divvy games out. And hopefully one day we will be, but I also don't envy it because then it becomes a job and not a hobby. As it stands right now, we're talking about games and things like that. And it's kind of like a semi-mini job at the end, but it's also still very much a hobby, which we very much enjoy. So yeah, you don't want to take away the enjoyment of gaming and make it into a job.
Yeah,
so it's a fine balance being a reviewer. It's a very fine balance.
Good stuff here.
Jen?
So, Jen, what about your picks?
Yeah, have you had a good chance to think?
I absolutely loved Hi-Fi Rush. I think that's one of them.
Yeah. Is Hogwarts up there?
I've not completed it yet.
Oh, no. The final battle's so awesome as well. You need to do it.
I would like to say Star Wars is up there, but again, I haven't completed that.
Is it in your potentials for Game of the Year so far? I mean, even if you're saying
Star
ones
Wars.
that you kind of through and you can see it being a potential for your Game of the Year, kind of what are those then? Because I'm exactly the same.
I'd
I'm in
say
a
being
position where
halfway
I've got
through Hogwarts Legacy, I'd say that's a high contender, but I need to go back and complete it.
yeah.
So the thing is, I'm in a struggle with games at the moment because I'm starting something new and I find it hard to stick to something,
Yeah.
even if it's something I'm absolutely enjoying.
Yeah.
It's so tough to say. There's been so many good games this year already. I'd hate to see what games
Is
are
that
going.
a FOMO issue? Or why do you start them all those new games?
Wait, sorry, say that again.
So is it like FOMO that hits you while you start these games?
I think it's just I get distracted too much by other games. Like I want to have my fingers in all the pies. So yeah, it could be a FOMO issue. But again, I don't know if I've got ADHD yet, but I am being like seen under the doctors for those sort of things. So it could be an ADHD issue.
Yeah. It's definitely that for me. 100%. I've got a very short attention span.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just so tough. There's so many bloody good games that have come out this year that I'd hate to see miss out on that being nominated. And there's still so many games to come.
See, my brother's in the same place as Andy in chat there. He says Hogwarts Legacy was a lot of fun, but I had to battle with the wife every night to see who got to play it first. My brother's in the same issue. My brother's got Hogwarts, but he's got it on the Xbox One, so he had to wait until it released on the Xbox One to play that. But his partner as well is just jumping on it all the time, so he's never getting a look in. So they've got separate saves, but he's just never getting a look in. So she's always on it. But yeah, for me, especially with Hogwarts, like I enjoyed it that much, and thankfully it released in a time where there wasn't too much surrounding it. So I just wiped the floor with that thing in like the opening week, completely 100% of it within the first 5 days. Loved every minute, but I'm exactly the same with Jedi. Like, unfortunately for me, I knew Diablo was coming out, and as soon as that dropped, Jedi got dropped, and I was just on Diablo, and I had Diablo and Street Fighter, and I do need to get back to Jedi and finish Jedi, but I can't pull myself away from Diablo and Street Fighter at the minute. But I do want to, before September, before Starfield drops, I do want to finish Jedi, because as a mainline story, and I'm not interested in 100% in Jedi, as a mainline story, I know that's absolutely doable. And I think, depending on how much you love Hogwarts, I think you could probably do just the campaign, and you probably get that finished relatively quickly.
Why is there so many games coming out this year?
I know, you're friggin' telling me. And that's not even including Forza and Alan Wake 2 and... Oh,
And the best fighter, which is Mortal Kombat.
no. There is a bunch of games. Like, if you have a look at, I think it's September, October, November, those 3 months are literally back to back to back with big releases. Like, it is not even a joke. It's insane. And that's Spider-Man 2, which I forgot to add on there. Releases. Muted boxy. Yep, there we go.
Spider-Man.
Yep.
Spider-Man 2 is also a game. I mean, I loved the first 2 games. They hit something for me, you know. I love superheroes. I love Spider-Man. I love the traversal in those games. I enjoyed the combat. The story was good. So yeah, Spider-Man is definitely something up there. Yeah.
It's just there's so many. So many.
Yeah,
Like this,
man.
if you just
And 2023 is shaping up to be one of the best years in video games ever.
yeah.
If you think
I mean,
about
even
it.
if you like take out the first party, because first party output for Xbox and PlayStation hasn't been great this year.
Yeah.
It's been okay. It's been okay. Once we've got Forza and Starfield released, then there'll be Forza, Starfield, Hi-Fi Rush, Redfall, which we'll forget about. But the output's been okay.
I think
PlayStation's
Redfall is
output
pretty
hasn't.
much already been
PlayStation's
forgotten.
output is just literally Spidey this year. But from a third party perspective, holy shit, have we been treated this year? My God. And
Yeah.
we've still got an Avatar releases in friggin' December.
And we've
You're
got
right.
Space Marine 2, and there's too many games, man. Too many games. So some of these games need to be delayed because
I know we shouldn't be asking for
there's
it,
just
but
not going to be enough time for them. Just delay all these games, please.
and they're
Delay
not,
them all.
and none of them are
Let
small.
Starfield come out. Delay everything else.
Like none of them are actually small though. If you have a think about it, like Diablo's not small.
Yeah.
Diablo's massive. Starfield's
That's another one I need to get
humongous.
to.
Yeah. Oh, Jen, you're gonna love, especially
Oh, you definitely.
as a party when you're with friends and things. It gets absolutely
Hmm.
insane, like absolutely insane. I love it. I love co-op on Diablo, especially world bosses. Like, I was going into world bosses in the beta and the alpha. People weren't picking you up and reviving you during world bosses in the beta. I've been playing the beta on hello Mick. I've been playing the beta on sorry, the actual game on
Little
Xbox
late.
now.
Ooh. Dude, yeah, it has this glow on the mic.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That's a nice
I forgot
touch,
about
man.
that. That's fancy.
didn't
It's
know that.
transparent. It's like the triggers. Hello, everyone. Sorry, I'm late.
It's all right. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
yeah, doing touching grass and all that kind of stuff. You got to do it every day, every now and again.
You got to make the most of it before Starfield comes out. That's what you got to do.
This is it. I fell back into Skyrim. I'm in. I've caught back up. I've caught back up to where I was at, Jen. So now I'm getting points again. I'm tooled up, ready for Starfield, and
You think I should
out in the days
download
now. really
Skyrim
want
on
one of
this
them.
bad boy?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
100%. Got to.
I really want
I have
one of them.
reinstalled Skyrim on PC. I am going to start a playthrough for streaming just for Skyrim. I've got Skyrim installed on my Xbox, on my PC.
I've just done the Dark Brotherhood and the Thieves Guild stuff. I'm deep. I'm deep into it.
Is that
getting
what you've been the past like hour and a bit?
No, I've been out. I went to settle, see my daughter, and see a new house, and that haven't been yet. So been to do that, had a barbecue, and then there was a bit of traffic on the way there, so we got late. And on the way back, it was just it's an hour and a half drive anyway. So we just got back, got the little one to bed, and sat down and come and show off the shiny new headset. I will say though, I have bought a sponge. Because as nice as that light is, those Xbox headsets do suffer a little bit from the wind blowing in the mic.
Yeah.
So it's always good to have a sponge on the mic foam on it just to soften the sound a bit. What are we talking about? What we missed?
God, we're talking about the mountains of games that we don't have enough time in the world to play.
Yes.
I'm just dreading it because I know as soon as Starfield comes out, I'm going to be stuck into it.
I heard you say something just as I was in the waiting room to come in, and you mentioned Avatar. My money would be on Avatar getting delayed. Any game that comes out in December is leaving it to the last minute anyway. So
I don't think it is.
games that
I don't
come out in
know.
December
I don't know.
tend to be the ones that get pushed back because they've already missed that holiday, that people, the build up to people buying them for Christmas presents. So you might as well take the extra time and put it out. And I Avatar's the sort of, I can't afford to miss on that one because
I mean,
if James
honestly,
Cameron's
who
reputation is
has
anything
their
to go by, it's got to be right.
but see,
And
who
the big factor-
buys their Christmas present in the first week of December? No one.
No.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
No one buys the Christmas.
Especially
We
so-
all run out like on December 23rd and do that stuff. So I don't.
Have you seen how
I
much
feel
the
like
Star Wars game is?
Yes.
And a lot of, and you'll remember from Assassin's Creed, the collector's edition is over £100. It's 115 quid.
Yeah.
Now, if
Yeah, but
anybody
that's
wanted
not the
that for
average.
Christmas and they asked for it
That's
on
not the
like
average
first-
Christmas present. It's gonna be the base game. So, see,
Yeah,
I
but
think
even
I
then,
feel
that's
like this is
70.
actually a perfect date for especially those bigger games, because by the time of mid-December, but we all have played the games from the holiday season. We have finished the Spider-Man already. Yeah. We have obviously, well, quote unquote, finished Starfield whenever, but you know what I mean, yeah? And we have finished Assassin's
for
Creed
yourself.
Mirage, and we have finished those games.
Speak for
I don't think
yourself.
anyone's ever finishing Starfield.
No.
I think it's too big.
That's unrealistic, Boxy. Come on. Never finishing Starfield.
You guys know what I mean.
No, I was even speaking about the before when I was the world bosses in D4, Boxy. The one thing that's pleasantly surprised me on the world bosses on D4 in the full release compared to the beta. In the beta, no one was picking you up when you go down. Like when the world boss one hits you,
Yeah.
no one would pick you up. They just go away and like tackle the boss, and they just leave you to die. But every time I've been going against the world bosses recently, a swarm of people have come to revive you, and then everyone goes and attacks at the same time. And as soon as one person goes down, a swarm of people goes around, picks them up quickly, goes down. I'm like, the community's actually actively trying to make sure everyone's up and fighting, and that makes a change. I've never seen that before. Like I say, even in the betas and things like that for this game, when you go down, they just let you rot.
Yeah.
As soon as the full game comes out, the community, like everyone, no matter who they are, they're running around you. There's like 3-4 people picking you up again and then down, and then it's been awesome. It's been awesome. It's made the world bosses so much more enjoyable because you're never actually down for long. It's great. It's great, but
Everything about Diablo is great.
yeah,
Me and Sightless played the Diablo, the beta for Diablo,
yeah,
and we actually managed to, with just the two of us, to get through one of the bosses.
yeah.
It's not one of the. It's one of the world ones. I don't think they were in the beta, were they? Is that like
They were in the late on, but they only introduced them for like one load of sessions. I don't even know if Boxy manages to fight one yet.
But we did well.
No,
We did
I
well,
have
managed
not.
to get through it.
Well, like the alert of the world bosses.
Yeah,
The one where I actually had the time, because they're usually either in the middle of the night, like 3 a.m. or so, or during workday. And there was only one world boss where I was actually able to make it. And unfortunately, I didn't Dutch because, family stuff. So
yeah. It's like that one's like quarter past 7 UK time, 8 European time. That's the achievable one. The next
that's a good one. Yeah.
The next achievable one is a midnight, which yesterday was 2 minutes to 12 at midnight, or for Boxy it would have been 2 minutes to 1, so too late. But that's the next achievable one. The other ones, as he mentioned, is during a work day or 3 in the morning, and they've got 4 a day.
Yes.
So they've got 7 o'clock. I think they've got one like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. They've got one, it's every 6 hours. Then they've got one about 6-7 o'clock. Then they've got one again at midnight, and then one at 3 o'clock in the morning, 3-4 o'clock in the morning, something stupid. So different locations, different bosses. There's 4 world bosses. I've fought 2 of them so far. One of them's called the Wandering Death. I'm starting to think people are just using my name and just changing the last section now. We've got Phil Spencer using the Wandering Soul, and then we've got these lot using Wandering Death. I mean, come on. Be original, guys. Be original. But the world bosses are all unique.
Imitation is the grandest form of flattery.
Exactly. I'll take it as a compliment. But yeah, the second world boss I thought was awesome. He was the one that you seen in the trailers where he was swinging around the huge kind of thing and smashing people and going through the portal and coming out the portal in a different area and then smashing them again. That was the one I fought the other day. Average, I think, or something he was called. But the thing he's swinging around is actually a huge loot chest, like a massive safe. So when you finish killing him, he's safe as a health bar. So everyone smashes that together. So you get loot off him, and then you break open his loot crate, and you get more loot from that as well. I was like, that is cool. I like that idea. So I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of mechanics the other guys have, because they're obviously different again. So you've got the big dragon as well, which has been awesome, and that was the one that we seen in the beta, Ashava. He's cool, but again, I didn't want to fight him again because I fought him. I know what he's about. I wanted to kind of experience the new ones, but the problem we've got is a lot of the new ones are always at the silly hours, like 3 o'clock in the morning or midday. And I'm like, well, I'm either at work or it's stupid o'clock at night. So maybe he's on the weekend. Boxy will get a chance to grab a world
absolutely,
boss.
man.
100%.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Mick, whilst you're here now,
Yeah.
we're trying to think of, and it's been a tough ask of doing this so far because there's so many games coming out, but there's also been so many amazing games we've already played. But as it stands right now, what are your top 3 contenders for Game of the Year?
Top 3 contenders for Game of the Year. I did hear you mention Hogwarts before.
Yeah.
And I think I do like Hogwarts. I do like the films. I'm not like I'm super buff, one of those people that just knows everything about Harry Potter. I know most of it just through watching it. But I think less to do with the fact that I quite like the films, more to do with the respect I think the team needed for what they did for that game.
Yeah.
Considering they'd never made anything like that before. That's going to be certainly in my top 3. So I'd probably put that in there at probably 3, maybe 2. I'd like to put Jedi Survivor in there, but I think that just falls short just because performance issues are still not great, even now. It works all right, but like if you go in and out of that canteen, they had another update the other day. The test for me to see whether I need to go back in and just finish off the rest of the achievements is I start off on that spaceport next to the home base and go in and just see how long it takes and what the textures look like as they're loading in. And if it still looks terrible, I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a bit longer. I'm okay. I've got plenty to do. I don't need to go back yet. So Jedi Survivor probably wouldn't quite make the cut for me this time, as much as I really enjoyed the story and the game itself. Just needs a little bit more work. I suppose are we including games that are coming out, did you say?
Well, ones we've played so far, but then when obviously we anticipate Starfield jumping into some of our games of the year as well.
I just can't see Starfield not being my number 1. Number 1 because I absolutely love Bethesda games and always have. But it's in space, which is just like, I love sci-fi.
Yeah.
So that's going to have to be my number 1, even though I haven't played it yet. Just everything I've seen and the watch and the headset and everything is just so cool. I'm going to have to reserve that one for first place just because I'm almost 100% certain that it will be immense. And even if it comes out, I was playing Skyrim again the other day and I'm playing it and there's still stuff going on in that game and I'm looking at it going, that dragon there flying backwards into the wall and getting stuck. I really hope they haven't polished Starfield too much because I'm going to really miss this. Something else happened as well. Somebody died and then just like froze as they were falling backwards. I sort of used an ice spell on them and they froze still and they fell backwards and they stopped at a 45-degree angle and just stayed there. They were dead. At a
I
45
would
degree
love
angle.
it if Bethesda were like the first ones to be like the releaser mode where
Yeah.
the game is just buggy. Save your buggy versions of the game and then just like release it as DLC or something. New game bugged. Instead of new game plus, new game bugged.
That'd be brilliant.
I'd love it.
they're
It'd be so
funny.
fucking good.
They are so funny.
A free
to play.
update, new game bugged. Yeah, this is the Starfield you would have got a year ago.
Instead of debug mode, it's the bug mode. Yeah.
I mean, the
it's
one
just-
thing,
yeah.
the one thing we have to say is, as much as I think the game will be in the best state that a Bethesda game has been in,
Yeah.
I also
There's still going to
agree.
be some.
I also agree with the sentiment that this game is too huge to not have
Yeah.
bugs, regardless of
Yeah.
how much QA you've got in it. There is bound to
I
be
agree.
bugs that they haven't found. There has to be. It's
I
too
just,
big.
I hope there's some of that wacky like Bethesda
and they're the
shenanigans
kind
that
of
goes on
stupid
when
shit
like an
that I
NPC
expect.
gets up and walks off and all the chairs move with him.
Yeah, I remember that one.
When you walk in a room and you've put something down in your house and you think, oh, that looks really good, I'll put that there. Looks really nice as I walk in. And you go out and you go off and do something. Then you come back about an hour later. And the second you walk through the door, that thing that you put on the table bounces around the room and just sends everything flying.
Just
And you
knocks
think,
everything out of place because you
I
put it
knew
so
I
neatly
wasted
and
my
you're like,
time trying to position that there.
I remember walking into a room on Skyrim and every item in the room exploded. They just went boom and started just flying everywhere. And I was like, okay, I shall
Yeah.
leave.
yeah.
I had a
You've got to
tomb.
love being sent into the stratosphere by giants
Yeah.
though when they hit you.
Oh yeah. I went into a tomb before, and there was just a load of skeletons, just loads of them, just lying around on the floor, which is all part of the aesthetic of the game. But every time I touched one, it would explode and hurt me and cause me damage. I was just like, are these supposed to be traps, or are they actually just exploding for no reason? And I came to the conclusion that they would just, every time I touched one, it would move violently and cause me damage for no reason. So it was
You
like,
know, it's funny saying that. A non-Bethesda game gave me a good Bethesda bug, and that was Hogwarts. There was one of the treasure tombs in Hogwarts where you had to solve a puzzle by you lift up this block, you turn it around, you fit it in to make sure the puzzle lines up, and that unlocks the door and you get the chest. But every time I'd turn this thing round with Leviate or whatever it was called again, Levioso, and spin it around and put it into the thing, it would set off a chain reaction for this object that would just ricochet around the room infinitely, forever. If you touched it, you died. So it was like, it was
just step away.
but it would also have the ricochet noise, so it was like pinging around the room at like 1 billion miles an hour, and I was like, oh, fuck this. So I just left the cave. I was like, what the hell's going on here? But then you'd hear it like bouncing up the corridor, coming after you. I was like, my God, what is going on with this? Love shit like that. They're the bugs that I like. They're the bugs that I love. Stupid shit like that. I love it.
Stupid ones. It's the ones that when it loads in and the game won't progress any further because some guy didn't turn up or he's stuck walking into a wall.
The
and
Witcher,
you can't get him to move.
The Witcher, where you're on when you're on Roach, and his hind legs go up and he's walking on his 2 front legs, and that's it. Just walk. Go on, Roach. Oh dear man.
Yeah, they were the good ones. It's the ones that where your saves go bad and
They're the
you
horrible
can't
ones.
progress in a mission. They're the ones that we don't want to see.
Yeah.
But I don't mind some of the wacky ones.
Yeah.
You know?
Or the ones
I mean,
where
if
like
it was just
limbs,
all the time, it would be too
limbs
much.
just start stretching for no reason. Just like.
It's like on Sea of Thieves when if you die and when you respawn back in, if somebody's holding onto the wheel steering the ship, when you spawn back in, they're about 10 foot tall with big long Slenderman arms holding onto the wheel, and you're just standing there going, "What happened to you?" And they're like, "Oh, hang on a minute," and just let go of the wheel and grab it again, and it fixes it. You know. I remember seeing that for the first time. I'm like, "What's going on?"
But they're the kind of stuff I still want in Starfield, goddammit. I want my bugs.
Yeah, I do want some of them. I'll go in there.
Or like eyes
New game
rolling
bugs
around.
needs to happen.
Going back to the list, I think Second place then for me would. I was a fan of The Division, and the people who make Division making a Star Wars game has the potential to be really good. So, yeah, it would definitely be. I know we said 3, but if it was 4, it'd be Jedi Survivor just missing out, Hogwarts just purely for the respect for the team that made that and doing such a good job on their first one, and then it's probably going to be the Star Wars Outlaws, and then there's going to be Starfield. I know it will be. I know I'm going to lose my life into that. I know I'm going to be dreaming about.
Oh, I forgot Outlaws is this year as well, isn't it?
People's sandwiches and stuff.
Is Outlaws this year or is it next year?
Oh, is it? Oh, is it not? Oh, yeah, you're right. It is next year, isn't it? I think 24.
It is, yeah, it's 24. Yeah.
Oh, my bad then. Sorry.
Avatar's this year. Avatar's the this year game.
Avatar. Yeah, I don't know. I can't.
I'm going to enjoy Avatar, but I don't.
Get at least a couple of months delay.
I think it's going to come out, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere near Game of the Year discussion. I think Avatar is going to release to like mid-70s, maybe 80 max.
Will it come out though? Will it?
A little higher.
Nah,
I mean, you know, around December you have like the hype around the movie. No, hang on, the movie got delayed, right?
Yep.
That's why I think it could also be delayed.
Nah, I don't think it will.
It's those December games are often the ones that get pushed back, even just if it's like
the beauty about
February.
The beauty about it, though,
months.
I would agree usually, but the beauty about it is it doesn't have anything in its way in December. It's got nothing there.
That's the thing.
They've got a good reason to release it then because there's nothing around them to. If they're released anywhere near Starfield, they haven't got a fucking cat and hell's chance.
Yeah.
See, I've got a feeling.
If you release any time after Starfield, you still don't have any chance anyway, because people are going to be playing it for bloody years.
So I've got a feeling that James Cameron is involved heavily with this game.
Yeah.
Is he going to want this game to be delayed so that it comes out alongside the movie next year, because the movie was delayed to next year?
Nah, he gets money either way.
I don't think so.
I
don't think he's deeply involved. Honestly, I think like that it was more like a PR gag, you know, where they have, they want to attach the name.
If it's not perfect though, he will kick off something.
Yeah, that's amazing. What I'm thinking.
He is. You've seen those people that work on the set, and they have T-shirts that say "You can't scare me. I've worked for James Cameron."
He's a massive prick. That's what I'll say about James Cameron.
So
he's likely heavily involved in the game.
It better be perfect.
He's one of them directors that are so far up his own arse. I would not be surprised if he demands that game is delayed to come out alongside the movie.
Yeah. I can see that. Definitely. We'll see. I mean, for me, I'm impartial. I'm not an Avatar fan.
Boxy's got to leave because he wants to play the ROG Ally.
I want to give it a little try before I have to go to bed, and it's already 11. So.
I know your game.
He's going to sneak it into work with him tomorrow.
It's all good. To be fair, we're like closing in on 3 hours now anyway, so it'll be a slow wrap up. So I'll let Boxy go first, then we'll wrap up the kind of final discussion and wrap up the show. But yeah, Boxy, fire away, brother. Where can we find you? We're back again tomorrow with the World of Gaming. So what we got lined up?
We are. Yeah, man, we have an exciting show tomorrow, the World of Gaming. Lots of topics to talk about. I did not expect this week to be full with so many news. Honestly, usually the week after the showcase season is more or less silent, and we have so many topics, even without the whole ABK thing. So that's going to be exciting tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. UK time or 8 p.m. Central Europe or 2 p.m. Eastern. And other than that, people can find me on the Boxenberger everywhere. Probably online on the Rock Ally a lot over the next days. But yeah.
I'm really interested to see what you got to say about it tomorrow on your show.
As we all are, because it's a potential for all of us.
Yeah.
You're our guinea pig. You're the guinea pig.
So I will most certainly report on it.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff, brother. Awesome stuff. Well, I'm going to let you enjoy
Alright.
yourself then on your
Well,
Rogue
thank
Ally.
you,
And
and I see you guys soon.
we see you tomorrow.
Take care, buddy.
See you later,
Have a
boxing.
good one.
Have a good one.
And Mick, another thing we've mentioned as well, and we'll get your thoughts on this before we wrap up.
Just before you do,
Yes.
second one, I thought of one.
Yeah.
Dead Island 2, purely for the fun factor in co-op.
Fair.
Leave it at that. It's
Fair enough.
great. Loved it. I'm quite
Another
finished
one
it.
I
Me-
need to
me
go
and Chris
back
is-
to.
Honestly, it's brilliant. In co-op, great. Just mindless.
I'm gonna-
feeling fun.
I'm likely going to play a co-op with my dad because my dad really enjoyed Dead Island as well. He's like nearly got all the
Yes.
achievements apart from the last like co-op one that he needs to get.
Really enjoyed it. It's nothing. It doesn't break the rules. It doesn't change anything or anything
Yeah.
like that. It's just like it's almost like a
More Dead
proper old
Island, which
school-
was fucking
yeah.
hell of a lot of fun back in the day.
Yeah, that's all I wanted. I was quite happy for just another Dead Island.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't have to be anything, just a new setting. And that's all it was.
I just really hope it isn't as long between the next Dead Island. There ain't no way I want to wait like 10 years again.
I don't think it will be this time. I think this team have done a really good job. I think Deep Silver, is it that own it? Is it Deep Silver and the rights? I think they know that, and they're probably just now going to use the same engine to just push more out.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
a couple of years, I reckon we'll get another one.
But Mick, we've also mentioned what we think. After Matt Booty said we haven't announced another couple of games that are also dropping out next year. What games do you anticipate those potentially could be that will go alongside Avowed, Hellblade, and Towerborn? What do you think? What games will fit into that 2024 bracket? We know Flight Sim isn't. They've already said it's not one of the 4, or it's not one of the 1 games per quarter. So, what do you think they haven't unveiled yet that could slot into 2024?
Difficult, isn't it? It's whether they go all out and they've kept a really big secret, something really special, something, like a new IP that's a really big sort of first party game, or maybe they've just not said anything because they're possibly the Gears collection or something that's something we've already had, just remastered. Doesn't warrant the full fanfare of a new IP. It's just something for the fans. So it could be, like I say, it could be a Gears or a Gears or a Fable collection. Maybe the thing, or it could be anything, couldn't it? You know what I mean? Microsoft have got a bit of a habit of
We've also said,
teasing this stuff.
yeah, we've also said
and then
potentially
it just being a new indie game from Compulsion, and they've just like a team of 6 of them have gone off and made a a castle defense game or something, and we're all like, all right, great, I'll give it a go, but so it's just
yeah.
but yeah,
But-
I don't hold too much hope out for that.
We
personally,
mentioned
but
earlier as well, though, we
we'll
still
see.
haven't seen id Tech, and Phil hinted about that on the Giant Bomb interview. Kind of whispered to Jeff Grubb, he was like, id Tech. And he kind of winked about it and things like that. As they were asking about what other games are you stuff and what ones you're excited about, and Phil just went, id.
So is it going to be that Hexen that he was wearing on his t-shirt? Then?
And he wouldn't answer. He wouldn't answer about it. I asked him. He was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Is Hexen a game, or he was like really playing it coy? So there could be something in that.
It's that then.
I mean, that by id.
Yeah, that would be my bet then. It'll be something like that. I don't even know. To be fair, I know it's an id Tech game, but I don't even know what Hexen is. I've not even looked that up. I saw it on his t-shirt. I think it's a Doom from memory. It's
Kind of a Doom game, yeah.
style game.
Raven Software.
Oh, is it Ravensoft? But it's like a Doom sort of
It is
style
like a
game,
Doom,
if I
yeah.
remember rightly.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time. So
But then, of course, we don't know what the next Doom is. We don't know when Quake's coming. We don't know when Wolfenstein 3's coming. Or Wolfenstein 3, as Boxy would say in full German earlier. So there could be any of them. I said it would to me, if there was a studio that had something unannounced that would likely have something ready to not just announce but good to go, it would be Edo Machine Games, because it's a high quality engine, but also very proficient at their jobs. They don't release broken games, they never have. Both Machine Games or IdTech, when they've released games, they've been highly polished and unbelievable to look at. If you ever think of Doom Eternal and Doom, like, it's got 120 frames, like 4K mode or something like that on the Xbox. It's insane.
Yeah.
Full ray tracing and everything.
Yeah.
Like, they've managed to pull it off. They're one of the only people that's managed to pull off a game that looks that good and runs that well on consoles.
That's true. That is true. I don't know. Like I said, apart from Wolfenstein, I'm not a massive fan of Doom.
I would love a Quake, because the story in Quake was cool.
Yeah. And I maybe I'd go back and try Quake again. But
Quake 3's story, the campaign was cool.
Yeah, I can't even remember what it was now.
It was basically, you went through
time,
this like factory thing where they were putting you together and your limbs got sawed off and they were putting like mechanical parts on you, and you were like some kind of like
That sounds like Prey.
biomutant thing.
sounds a bit-
But you ended up in like, there was certain missions where you were in like a trench, but it was like obviously trench warfare, but against an alien horde. It was mad. You had to take down turret defenses and things like that, and then find out where they were mass producing these alien hybrid robot things and take that out.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't get into it.
It's a really cool story. I loved it. And then it just went silent. That was 360. That was like almost one of the launch titles on 360, and then it just went deathly quiet. I haven't seen Quake since. It's a damn shame.
Yeah.
They had a Quake multiplayer game a few years back.
Quake
That's about it. And then they had that like other weird Quake multiplayer game that came out on 360. That big team battle style one.
Yeah, I kind of remember that. That wasn't that great either.
Yeah, that was pretty shit, to be honest.
But yeah, I think I would take that. But again, it could be anything. Could be Contraband. That could be further along than we know. I don't think Perfect Dark, but if it is, thank you. But I can't see them releasing. And again, personal opinion, I can't see them releasing Avowed, Perfect Dark, Hellblade, and Towerborn all in the same year. I can't see them releasing that many big games. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But Perfect Dark, Avowed, and Hellblade are three like system sellers in a year. Like, that's big going. I just don't see them hitting that.
No, it seems a bit far-fetched.
Yeah. But then again, like I say, after that, 2025, we're looking at potentially Fable, Clockwork, and South of Midnight already.
Do we know that Fable's 25?
It's far enough along to not get a release date for next year. But it's close enough to be able to say that's probably fitting into 25.
And if they won't pull you don't think they'll pull a Sony and use the Game Awards to add some dates, things?
I think Microsoft, any games that are releasing next year, in terms of what we know anyway, they said the games that are releasing next year, the ones that haven't been shown off yet. So any additionals for next year are ones that we haven't spoke of or revealed yet. Which tells me that Fable's definitely not a next year game and it's 25. And again, that's fine because we're getting Avowed and that's a big game, and Hellblade, and that's an awesome game. And I want Fable
We're
to be the best it can
finally
be.
gonna get Halo ODST too.
Oh, I respect your dreams.
You're falling into the realms of Scalebound at this point, I think.
It's a reality. It's gonna happen. I'm telling you. If not next year, it's at least going to be one of the years. Hopefully before I die.
Yeah, that'll be the key thing.
I'll be 80 years old when they announce that, and I'll be like, yeah.
Woohoo! Waves his
I'll be on my
walking stick in
deathbed.
the air.
It's announced. That'll be it. That's when my tiny old man heart will give out.
Day
I
before
want
the
to get to
release
play
date,
it.
thanks to the excitement.
Oh dear me! But yeah, it's getting horrifically warm still. I'm sticking to the chair, keep sliding around.
Oh yeah,
But yeah, we'll wrap up today's show. We'll be back again next week. I might do some form of streaming on the weekend, depending on how warm it is. That's the only problem. And even opening windows, I don't really want to because it's it just end up fucking attracting bees and shit into the house because I'm right next
I'll
to
tell you
loads of
what's
bushes.
worse. Like what's worse about it, like when it's summer, is especially you just get out the shower and you can't get dry.
No,
You just can't get dry.
you sweat.
You are wet all day once you get out the shower. You never dry.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And good afternoon, Cypher. How are you doing, sir? But yeah, so probably some form of streaming on the weekend. It's either going to be Street Fighter or Diablo. It's going to be one of the two. So
Mortal
expect.
Kombat bad.
No, it's not. It's going to be one of those two. I'm going to end up getting you Street Fighter just so I can beat you up. But yeah, it's gonna one of those two games will be streamed at some point over the weekend. It'll also be on Friday late night. It'll be like 1 o'clock in the morning my time. On Risk It for the Biscuit show. On Friday/Saturday morning for me. So I'll see everybody there. But other than that, we'll be back again next week for Save Tuesdays and also the midweek mix-up. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody there. But gents, let's get this show wrapped up so we can somehow cool down. Mick, let people know where they can find your brother and what you've got coming up.
Yeah, Xbox Mick 29, pretty much everywhere. And yeah, we should be back on again with See Tuesdays this week. Had a bad stomach the other day, so I had to give it a miss, unfortunately. But should be back next Tuesday. I might do a little unboxing video, well, a late unboxing video for this and the controller, but also show off the. Let me just take that off. So obviously the mic sponges, but I've also replaced these.
Oh, nice.
With some material
That's cooler.
replacements. Yeah, because the other downside of the Xbox headsets is they make them out of that sort of faux leather sort of type stuff,
to your
and
face.
this weather is just awful.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
Right at the start of this podcast, we were talking about sticky headphones.
So I managed to find some grey or light grey material replacements for this, and they fit perfectly. So they're not actually for this; they're for the SteelSeries Arctis headsets, but they're the same size. So yeah, so I'll be hopefully doing a video for that if I get a chance. And yeah, that's about it really.
Nice. And last but not least, Jen, let people know where they can find you, brother, and what you've got coming up.
Hopefully, I'll be back to streaming either tomorrow, Friday, or Saturday. If it's not too hot, if it's nice and cool, I'll be live at my usual time. And you can find me on my Twitch channel at the General C. That's my @ name below my name here. That's pretty much me everywhere too. So yeah, if you want to add me on Xbox or PlayStation, apart from Nintendo, because you have some weird loopholes, not loopholes. You have to jump through hoopholes to get people's codes and such for that, or add me on Twitter and.
Yeah, I was going to
And
say,
find
it's
me that
easy
way.
to just add somebody on Twitter, add yourself on the Switch on Twitter, and it will pick up all the people that you know on Twitter on the Switch. Much easier than trying to use their codes.
Yeah.
Trying
And
to
just to
type
kind
in
of,
a code.
I don't think like the Yanks don't kind of still wrap their head around how our houses built in the UK. They're built to entrap heat and keep heat in. They are not built to keep it cooled, which means in the summer, because we don't have aircon built into our houses, and we don't get these giant units you can fit into things that don't cost hundreds. Oh, hello, Snakey. I didn't even know you had a pet snake.
It's my son's. It's my son's, but it used to be my daughter's one. That's yeah.
Soft as clots.
Yeah, lovely. Got tortoises as well.
Go, mate. Jesus.
House full of wild animals.
But yeah, my house right now is hello. It's just like hello, sir.
Let me get on the camera.
You talk parcel to him.
Yeah, yeah, he's speaking parcel to him. My house right now is about 27, 28 degrees.
Oh man, I dread to even look at what mine is.
Yeah,
So it's
I just sit in front of the
warm.
fan. I'm all right as long as I'm sat in front of this fan here. Okay.
Yeah. So, and that's like outside's actually cooler than inside. Outside is like 23, 22. So I can stand outside, get cool, but as soon as I come in the house, it's sweltering. And there's no wind.
I've just driven back from Settle with literally all the way down the A59, all the way up the M6 and the A55, window all the way down, the whole way.
Yeah.
Just on the motorway, belting along, window all the way down. Just,
So it's
couldn't bear to close it.
absolutely sweltering. No AC, just absolutely boiling hot. There's
Yeah.
no wind. So you open the windows and nothing comes in anyway. It doesn't make a blind bit of friggin' difference. So, so yeah, just sweating our tits off, and then obviously trying to stream with lights on and big screens and warmth coming from every unit. And
Series X.
And a big ass PC heating up while I'm playing games. Oh no.
And then of course we've got these lovely leather cups. These delightful leather cups that just stick to you in every orifice. So yeah, you have to bear with us.
Now I know what to get you for your birthday. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you, sir.
I'm
Oh,
gonna have to get one of them big old pizza things that you use to scoop the pizza off of a cooking stone thing.
Yeah,
just
just
so I can
use it for
scrape
your
myself
head.
off of this chair. So I feel like I'm stuck to it.
yeah, I'm just sort of pool of
I,
sweat on my chair.
I have one other little thing to say as well. With the I want to give a shout out to one of my best mates, Mike, who's a mate who I've known for
You're
years.
just shouting yourself out here.
His name's
Split personality.
Mikey Magic. Mikey Magic, we call him, and he's been my best mate around here for years. Ever since I moved here, he's one of the first people I met when I moved here, and he hasn't had an Xbox since the end of the 360 era. He bypassed the Xbox One, and yesterday he messaged me and said, "Pre-ordered a Black Series S ready for Starfield."
Hey,
And he's been a PlayStation fan since then.
bloody hell.
So completely bypassed the whole Xbox One generation, and he's coming back.
Did you all see that Starfield was at the top of the Steam charts the day that stream happened? It went to the top of the Steam charts.
Yep. And it'll
So easy.
and that's just the pre-orders. It's fucking months away.
Yeah.
It's gonna be sailing that game. It's exactly the same as Diablo. That game's gonna do numbers, and people don't realize it. Like Diablo, everyone was like, "Oh, it won't sell that many copies." I'm like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "It did 3.5 million on PC alone in the first day. For Diablo 3. Diablo 4's already smashed that out the water. It's done like 10 million in the first day across like all platforms. Like Starfield's gonna do numbers, especially on PC. Starfield's gonna be. I've already got the
People
premium edition.
underestimate the weight of Bethesda's games.
Everybody
alone.
owns one of
Talking
these.
Fallout, not talking Fallout 76, because that wasn't entirely made by Bethesda's main team. Bethesda's main team's on this.
I'm just saying, just
I'm going to be
judging
the
by
only one
amount of
without one of
people-
these Starfield controllers, aren't I? I'm going to need to go and
Have you
get
not
one.
got one?
I've never
Go and
seen.
get one.
I have never seen.
I can't keep. I
I've
can't
never
keep buying
seen as many people buying a limited edition controller as I have the Starfield controller.
Yeah.
I put a post up,
would
it
agree.
got like 400 likes and God knows how many retweets, but it also got 160 comments, of which most of those people either had a controller or 2 or 3 controllers. So there was
What,
at least
Starfield
200
controllers?
people on there. At least 200 controllers just in my chain alone for Starfield.
It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Gonna make their
Everyone,
money on them
there's
controllers.
so many. Oh god, I think
The
I put it out chat,
Constellation
didn't I? It
Edition
was like,
sold
there
out.
must-
The controllers are
Yeah.
sold out in certain areas. UK, you can still get them.
Yeah,
Headsets were
Still on
flying out
Amazon.
like there's no man.
yeah. I think they've made most of their money, at least half the money back that they've cost to make the game just on the controllers
Yeah,
and
they
headsets.
made their money back for making the game for the controllers already.
I've honestly
all
never
profit
seen
from
anything
now
like
on.
it.
Headphones.
I've never seen anything like it. I just remember when it came out and then seeing my newsfeed and every other post was the controller. I was like, what
I'm
the
just surprised they haven't got a console to go along with it. It seems like a missed opportunity to have like the full.
Jen, just buy a Series X and
Sorry.
I'll paint it for you. It's fine.
Yeah, there you go. See,
And you'll have a one of a kind that
sorry,
everyone's going to be jealous of.
I'm just
And then I
gonna
can
go
sell it
back
on
to some
eBay for thousands of pounds.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, the amount of
Sorry, 'cause
times
then-
Mick
'cause
has
then
had
Drew
that
gets-
for his.
because then Drew gets commission then, so you know.
The amount of, the amount of times you put yours up and people are saying, we're going to buy these, and you can't.
Yeah, yeah. There's just stuff shown in the chat spot. Mick and Mike, the buddy comedy we never knew we needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mick and Mike.
Uh,
These split personality disorders.
Yeah.
What would be ironic is if I sent you my PlayStation plates and you painted them Starfield.
Oh, God.
Starfield
Yeah.
ones. Oh.
Oh, dear me. I've got,
That
to
would
be
be
fair,
funny.
I've got some
That'd
catching
get
up
the
to
salt
do.
going.
I've got to shout out a couple of people in the chat because I've got some catching up to do with spray paint, and I've got to do Daz's, and I will by the time Mortal Kombat comes out. Daz's Mortal Kombat controller, I'll be with him by that release at least.
A man of culture.
Years ago, he won this thing like last year, and I still haven't got round to fucking doing it. So I apologise profusely. I do need to get round to doing it, but I haven't. So I will get round to sending Daz his Mortal Kombat controller. But I also have Vin's PlayStation 5 plates here to paint, but he's just left it up to me to decide what to paint on it. So it's like fucking minefield. What am I actually going to design on this?
Scalebound.
No, I'm not going to do that. It's the first PlayStation
It has
5
to be
plate I'm doing. The first one I'm doing, so I need to make it fucking insane. So I might have to contact Sean LeBrie and make some fucking nuts design for him. But then it's a case I'm going to have to tie up, specifically for Vin, I'm going to probably have to tie up a visit to the Netherlands and drop those off at the same time, because the cost of posting them isn't much, but the cost that he's going to have to pay to get them because of fucking import tax in the EU now, I may as well just fly over and drop them off.
You can say I got a sticker for him as well. I got a poster, so you can take that with you as well.
Oh, dear me. But yes, ladies, gents, thank you very much for all the birthday wishes at the beginning of the stream and throughout. Thank you for the super chats, the memberships, awesome stuff, and hope you see everyone soon. And of course, hopefully see you online playing some games as well, some Diablo, some Street Fighter and whatnot. But until then, ladies, gents, everybody who's watching, both on demand on audio platforms after the fact, of course, Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, and everything else, Google. Enjoy the show. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like, or if you're on audio platforms, leave a star rating if you're enjoying the show. But until next time, guys, I hope you have an awesome evening, and we shall see you all again next time. Goodbye.
You like to chat?